Joining us, everyone. Welcome to episode 110 here on Tattoo Collecting 101, right here on Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo. If you haven't joined us before, Reinventing the Tattoo is a community for tattoo artists, apprentices, and all those who are curious about the world of tattooing, looking to educate, share, and inspire with one another to make the community a better place. Before we jump in real quick, just want to say thanks to our sponsors. So thanks to World Tattoo Events, which has the largest, most comprehensive list of tattoo conventions going on in the world. Thanks to DLI's Pro, known as Dermalize Worldwide, which was designed specifically for healing tattoos. So be sure to check it out. As well as Tattoo Now, technology for tattooers, the leading edge in professional development, management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. As well as real quick, thank you to our affiliates at the Fireside Tattoo Network, as well as the Apprenticeship Diaries. If you want to reach out to us at all or be a sponsor, hit us up at management@reinventingthetattoo.com.
Nicely done, Kyle.
Good job, Kyle.
Today,
Good work, Kyle.
So where are we
Good work.
today?
well, today, I don't know if you can tell, but we're kind of like in the middle of kind of a fun new way to set up. We took over Durb and Ben Reich's room at Red Tree.
Welcome to my room.
So we're tattooing Brian and Jen, who had the privilege of joining us in Tampa last year and then joining us on a
Yeah.
previous episode.
Yeah.
So if you guys have been following along, you'll be familiar with Brian and Jen. But yeah, today we got like dual tattoo going on, and we have our buddy Brian Midkiff joining us.
Brian.
Brian.
Man.
So what's new with everybody?
Well, I am tattooing right next to you, man.
Brian's next. Is that what you said? Well, there's two Brian's.
Now I'm tattooing right next to Fawn right now, working on Brian, doing koi fish. But I've tattooed the other Brian that's
true.
on right now, Brian Midkiff.
It's true. What my brain received was Brian, you're next, meaning the old surprise tattoo.
Yep.
Or maybe you got to
tattooing me.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Exactly.
Brian on Brian tattoo.
Brian,
There's some shitty work.
You'll fit right. It'll fit.
can't look any worse than I'm doing.
Anyway, let me get my first one in right here, Durb.
Hey,
Calling you for the touch-up.
call it a collaborative piece.
Yeah,
Right? Exactly.
ready to ruin it.
We did a collaborative. piece the other day.
Hashtag fun.
I think I
Hashtag.
need a shirt that says that. Hashtag fuck.
No,
ready to ruin it. Because that's
We can make those.
there's a lot of different implications with that.
Oh, I'd rather
With
put
that-
hat to the girl.
Yeah.
So you mean
What are you
Yeah.
ruining?
You-
Your day.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought that happened. I'll take a 3% royalty on anybody that commissions these projects.
Do it.
Just hit me up.
like Ricky Bobby. That was a straight line.
Yeah, straight hard. My general stip is I'll take 3% on any idea that somebody else wants to develop. I'll just let it fly.
It's a founder's
You know,
Not bad. Not bad.
I'm just lazy.
People look super.
I'm just lazy and willing to share. You know, that's all. I'm not gonna do it. What are you working on, Fawn?
You want to kind of describe what we're working on, Jen? Mike, you're in charge.
I'm in charge.
Yeah, you're driving the ship.
So Fawn
Tan.
started my stained glass sleeve. She helped tie together a old tattoo I got when I was younger and impulsive. And I have Beauty and the Beast. And so now we're adding from Princess and the Frog, Dr. Felicio, in a little stained glass window. He looks fantastic so far. Excited. We got some voodoo dolls and a frog. So I can't wait to tie it all together.
We're like 4 lines in,
Yeah.
so
The very beginning of the journey.
I have faith in you.
thanks.
Frugal.
All trust.
Yes, all the trust.
With your-
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while you leave me with Harry's stick
I haven't seen one.
and circles.
So what she's talking about is she's got a Nightmare Before Christmas piece on her leg that I did, and you know, the like pumpkin patch, there's all these like little vines and stuff that like curl like across the ground, and instead of like fully saturating that whole area, I only had time to just like barely line them in. So she had these like fuzzy little snake things, and they were even like a gray brown color. So they really did kind of look hairy.
Hairy snakes.
Hair-esque,
Yes,
if you will.
hair-esque.
The hairy snake.
But what, for a couple months,
Wait a
maybe?
Yeah.
I've never seen.
I say shave that thing.
But they turned out good. They morphed from their hairy snakes to vines. It was good. Brian didn't let me live it down though. He's like, look at my complete fish and your hairy snakes.
Yep.
What are you working on over there, Durb?
I'm working on a koi fish on Brian. Brian's got 5 koi fish in his bodysuit. So we're doing the green one today. Brian, you want to talk about colors and significance of them and all that?
Yeah, so I've got 2 on each arm. The top right one is for Glenn, my wife. So I had each person pick their color that represented them. And then she always lays on this side. She's actually like deteriorated the muscle on that side of my body. So I figured it was a good segue for the fish to lay there. And then when Durb and I planned out the suit, we made sure that fish had the biggest butt, because
Right.
the whole reason this all works is because the fish had the butt, if you know what I mean. So that, of course. And then the very sweet and elegant ladylike fish on my left shoulder is my daughter's fish, and that one's purple, which is her favorite color. And then on my lower right arm, we did the red for my oldest son, Hunter. That fits his personality, and he's a big boy. You know, he likes to be rowdy. And then the fish on my left side is for my middle son, Nathan. And yeah, he's the most like me. He's the most like problems. So he's gonna be he is a problem.
I just love the way you said that, so prideful. He's the most like me.
Yeah, yeah.
You started with that. That's my favorite.
You get your back too.
Like,
You have the dragon.
He's a big kid, but he's already like 5-something feet tall, because Jen's tall and I'm tall. But he's just naturally big. But like when you upset him, he's just like a big bear. Like he's upset for a second, and then he just wants to like get over it and hug and play. Whereas like Nathan, you hurt him or upset him or piss him off, and he'll stare at you. And then like 6 hours later, you're like, why is the top of the stairs wet? Or like can't do it on here.
Screw you, Dad.
He's on the other side of the stairs staring at you like, hey Dad, like
Waiting for you to
Didn't
slip.
know if you were gonna slip.
Oh, Damien
or not.
Omen.
like fall.
Don't fall.
Fall. Yeah, that's why I stopped at 1.
Smart.
She was pretty cool, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, I'm pretty good here.
It's really good if we stop now.
Mhm.
You
That's
know,
what I felt too with my son.
Yeah.
Yep.
the next one might have turned out like me. See, you know,
what
that's
happened to me.
what I don't. Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm all
I'm
right.
not. Say the beer.
No, I just meant like I'm all right with having one of me. Huh? I barely made it through. I don't want anybody else to have to go through it. Sketchy at best.
It's cool that you guys are doing the podcast like actually in Red Tree.
Yeah, this is a different format for it. What's going on here? Did you guys do one
We're on travel mode.
like last week or a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
Corey, where you guys actually went into the booth?
Yeah, in
Did you
Corey's
guys?
room. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah, they tattooed the clown on my leg.
That's right.
Sad clown.
Sad clown.
That
Are you
was
a
good
sad
looking.
clown? It's a
Did you
sad clown.
start and finish that tattoo and that podcast,
We started right before a podcast.
but it's done.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that?
getting through it.
How's it feel?
Okay. It's a rough spot to heal.
How'd you get it at?
Top of five.
Top of the thigh, like
Okay.
you know where everything touches.
How many rubs?
Your pants.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like-
your elbow.
Elbows, legs, tables.
Yeah.
I went on a 15-mile backpacking trip. I mean, so you know, that's fine. Though.
15 miles? Damn.
I was just a little baby guy.
You don't fuck around.
Where'd you go?
It's just walking. Zaleski.
That's a lot of walk.
It's just before Athens.
Oh, I know. That.
Zaleski State Park.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
It's actually been one of the more relaxing hikes I've done in a while because it's there was like water at all the campsites and like latrines. and like the trail was marked.
Yeah. Was there any elevation or was it all like
In comparison, it was pretty flat, but people that don't hike would be like, man, this sucks.
yeah.
But there was a lot of really cool outcroppings and like caves and like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I had a good time. I enjoy sleeping outside.
We've been hiking and camping like that style for since I've known this shit.
Yeah.
When did you start camping and getting out in the wilderness?
I mean, 10, 11.
Yeah.
My parents had permanent
So,
campsites
yeah.
growing up at their
Even
friend's
as a kid.
property, and they'd stay in campers, and we would just grab what we thought we needed and go sleep out in the woods somewhere
Yeah.
because we didn't want to hang out with them. So
You don't sleep in a tent anymore. You do the hammock, right?
Mhm.
That's what I thought. I knew that.
hammocks
Hammocks are way easier.
easier, lighter, comfortable,
The
dry.
range, yeah, or the
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Warm. It's funny, I make everybody go winter camping with me, and I'm the only one that like wakes up like warm and rested,
Yeah.
and everybody's freezing and huddled together.
It never goes with you again.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I got invited to get a hunting camp with a couple of guys a couple years back, and they're like, "Yeah, come hang out at camp with us, and you can be like the camp master." So I don't want to. I don't care that much.
I don't care that much.
I know where the grocery store is. So like, I actually saw more deer at camp than they did out in the woods the whole time. But they brought all of their heated tents and like all this extra shit, and like were running propane inside their tent all night to stay warm. And
Right.
still woke up in the middle of the night and were out by the fire and like trying to warm up and couldn't just they couldn't hang, and it just made me laugh.
You're just like in this.
Like a
cocoon.
lot. I slept in my undies.
Oh.
Great. Woke up.
Ben's tent's like that tent that looks all like normal from the outside. You go in and it's like all decked out.
It's just a little baby
Big
cocoon.
castle in there where it changes sizes.
Let's keep them warm. You say you're in your undies.
Yeah, it's a cocoon of awesomeness.
Okay. And I go outside to get the mail in my underwear on my porch and I run back inside.
Okay, so you know how hammocks are that real thin material, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So then you basically wrap a sleeping bag, they call it an underquilt,
Okay.
underneath of it,
Yep.
and it insulates underneath of you.
Yep.
Mine's down,
Okay.
so like hot as fuck. And then inside my little baby cocoon, I've got another quilt that like covers up to my knees, closed, and then it like opens. You
Okay.
can tuck around your shoulders.
I've never.
So I'm essentially wrapped in a down cocoon of amazingness.
Of emotion.
Yeah.
There is a lot of emotion. Generally tired.
Sleepy band. That's sleepy band.
That's
What about the coyotes, man?
fuck a coyote.
Yeah.
They smelled
You
me
got some-
6 hours ago.
You're up off
and
the
want-
ground.
Yeah, they want nothing to do with me, I promise. Most animals don't want anything to do with you unless they're trying to steal your food. And if your food is with you, they can come around as much as they want.
Yeah, we got
It's their
coyotes
house.
back at my house there down the woods. I've never seen them though. I just hear them at night. Hear them at like 4 a.m. going off.
Right. Yeah, most of the time they don't want nothing to do with you. Most animals have known you were there before you even thought about there being
Yeah.
coyotes.
Oh yeah.
It all good.
So earlier this week, I couldn't help but notice Kyle looking over your shoulder all night, Durb.
Yeah.
You got a shoulder looker?
Yeah. We got a hover.
Yeah,
Hoverboard.
just hanging around.
It's kind of
Watching.
creepy.
Visually
Hovering.
learning.
So Durb,
I hope he's learning and picking something up from it.
I definitely wrote down a couple notes at the end of the night.
Wait a
Yeah.
second, you take notes the old-fashioned way?
I take them on my phone and a notepad. So
The new
kind of sort of,
fashion way.
New fashion.
all the words are the same, but it's completely different.
It's basically the general concept is the same.
I hear you. So Durb, can I buy your air rights above your shoulders so I can start charging rent space for anybody that wants to occupy that space?
Where's this at?
The air rights above your
Right
shoulders.
here?
All
Yeah.
Yeah.
3% royalty on
Yeah. Yeah. Manager.
That's
Did
the
you negotiate
Moulin
with
Rouge
him?
style right there, buddy.
Right.
I can charge money for your area.
Go. Let's go back here. All right.
I just received
There we go.
a message from Jess, the warehouse manager, that says that we need to make sure we turn off the heater tonight.
Oh,
Good call.
because we
we'll do
all
that because we'll be back out there.
abandoned her,
Yeah.
and I'm saying that to the group. I'm gonna fucking forget. So
Someone were.
to the 12 people in the room,
Also, it's pretty fast in here.
we left a fire burning downstairs
You're,
in the
you're the
way.
mom. I'm gonna stare at you.
Well, we got other artists working right now too throughout the shop.
That is very, very true.
We got this room packed full. We got Keith. We got Jordan. I'm sure Marty will be coming in.
He normally comes at nighttime, doesn't he?
Baker.
Yeah, Marty usually comes
7:30.
in at 7:30.
Yeah, it's this thing. We've like came back from conventions at like 2 and 3 in the morning.
Oh
and
yeah,
He meets us down there in the garage, out in the warehouse to
yeah.
Being all wizard like.
being all wizard.
He is a wizard.
That's the only time I ever see him is at 2 and 3 in the morning when we come back from
Yeah, or after
conventions.
convention. Yeah. Fawn, you're usually in here too. Shit.
Yeah, I'm kind of a night owl as well. Not as late as Marty usually, but
Is that because you like to, or are you working around your client's work schedule? Or both?
I am definitely more creative and focused in the evenings.
You're a night
So
person, yeah.
yeah, like if you I usually start my day at 2, but like I really kind of get in the zone
Wait, he's going for it.
Yeah.
around the evening, you know.
Mhm.
So
9:30 happens and my brain shuts off. I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I'm done. I don't want to think. I couldn't. No.
You're ready for chill time, huh?
Yeah.
I usually get that around 11.
My zone of genius is AM.
I get around like 1 a.m.
That's where I'm at.
If you want me to
Oh, man.
focus and get shit done,
That's
we
when
need
I'm
to
like,
start
I
at
should
like
think
7.
about going to bed.
Because by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm done. There's no important things happening after 3 p.m.
I do
Ever.
I do like
Ever.
getting up. No, I wouldn't say super early, but I like to be up early because I feel like my day I get so much
What
more
time do you get
accomplished.
up?
Me,
Yeah.
like natural alarm clock,
What do you consider?
8 without an alarm,
8?
without an alarm, 8:30, like
Yeah.
just up.
Okay, I like between 8 and
But-
9.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
like if I'm no
I usually
alarm,
get up, grab a cup of coffee. I'm not joking. Within 10 minutes of me waking up, I'm working. Usually.
I haven't worked in 3 weeks. I still get up at 5:55
No.
because my alarm goes off at 6, and I'm that dick that's like, it's about to go off.
yeah.
Oh, so you're already awake.
I feel like I catch my alarm too.
There
And
you
then,
go.
then I lay there and complain about life for 5 minutes to myself in the morning before it even
There's the
buzzes.
button, there's
Then it buzzes, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's start the day.
the-
Yep, still 6 a.m.
Damn. I was gonna do 6, but that's because I fall asleep a little later. You probably go to bed earlier, so
Hence the brain shutting off in that
Yep.
day.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And you do get on a cycle too. So if you're used to 9, your body can tell you to go to
It
bed.
has a lot to do with the amount of weed I smoke.
Hey,
Pretty much just gets to
agree.
the point where it's
I
just
think
like,
that keeps me up though.
No,
Sometimes so like 1 a.m. and shit, man, I
100%.
can't sleep. I'll be like, let's do this and that.
I'm the
Video
opposite.
games.
I'm like, my ADD has slowed down enough to where I'm only thinking about what's right in front of me, and then my brain shuts off.
If I decide to smoke or I smoke, I'm not going to bed until I'm.
Brian, yeah, you're
Yeah,
always
you know
yeah,
that.
yeah. I
I'm
know.
up.
it is.
No,
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go
Brian gets
outside.
up, yeah.
If I don't smoke, we're bouncing off walls. Like
Yeah.
we'll get anything and everything needs done.
Yeah,
But like, nah, fam.
no, that's like, if I smoke, I'm not trying to chill. I'm trying to go do something. Anything
Yeah.
but sit there in silence.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just can't do it.
That's where like
fair.
weed and hiking is the best.
No, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
For
They do
sure.
kind of go hand in hand.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So Brian, how many tattoos you got, man?
Which Brian?
Brian Midkiff.
Oh shit.
I know Brian. Brian
they're
on
becoming-
tattoo has one.
Yeah.
This is
That's-
literally one tattoo this guy has on him, and it's his whole upper body pretty much.
After you were my first tattoo as well, and I had pretty much this. Well, I didn't have my arms, but I had just like my back and ribs, and that was just like one. I don't know if I've ever really counted. I mean, I could count right now, but they're all close.
Collecting-
No, it's just like,
You've been collecting on your
Show off
leg,
everything
though.
yeah.
The clothes. I'm gonna point at you.
No.
You had
You can grab that camera,
No,
like switch to another, grab that camera, and then get in close on Brian's.
Oh, let's
no,
get.
I got. So I ain't doing-
Challenge
Part
your
of
camera,
that dinner,
Kyle.
Take off your clothes, Brian. So just take my pants off, I guess.
Well, you're looking all regular.
I
Not
do.
even
See,
showing
that's the-
a
Yeah,
single
you can't tell he's
tattoo.
tattooed
I don't look
until he
tattooed
takes
at all.
his shirt off.
No, I guess I'm taking my clothes off. I have no choice.
I mean, there's
So,
always choices.
Do I just
Then like, yeah, no
do I
choice.
just so I can stand here?
No, I want you to wiggle a little.
That's how I dance too. That's the best.
Aw, now go stand over by Kyle where
You're like-
you can screen molest you.
All four again. Sorry.
So this is just a little ditty that Durb did.
Yeah, just a little tiny one.
My book right now.
Yeah.
You seen his bodysuit I did on him, Brian? It was
What's
like
crazy about
all
it
Beatles.
is, it's your arms will look like this in 10 years too.
Yeah, because that's 10 years old easily. Yeah. Color's still looking good. We sat and watched the movie together, screen cap parts that he liked and characters that he liked, and then we put together this whole original, Yellow Submarine Beatles tattoo.
And don't forget the first.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we need you. Do you remember talking me out of putting that down my ribs? It was a.
Yeah, somewhat.
it was
Yeah.
either-
Hey, that's what was cool back then.
Actually, each one of my fish is gonna have a tribal armband.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude.
Fawn and I have talked about giving some of my tattoos.
That's cool.
Just cause.
That's that next step when you run out of
space.
on your bodysuit. You're like,
Good
what?
job, bro.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
Just nips. It'll be implied.
we'll figure it out.
I got a pretty big Buddha piece on my chest, and we talked about giving him a Jesus piece, like a big pun Jesus piece. I thought that'd be hilarious.
But yeah, it's crazy to think that tattoo's it's probably over 10 years old now.
Yeah, definitely. Over
Which
10.
is crazy to me. But time flies, man.
I did your stomach out of my private studio, didn't I?
Yeah, we started
Back then.
the whole left side of the ribs. I think that was all at the private studio, which I love.
Yeah,
loved
you
it.
missed
I
that,
loved it. It
don't
was
you? You were one of the
awesome.
clients.
I mean, this
too
is
that really
amazing,
wanted me to
too.
stay there
Yeah, for sure.
because
But
it was so nice.
it was the private studio, man. I'm not saying this isn't much better. The 4th Street Red Tree was awesome too.
Yeah, yeah.
Between the old Red Tree and the new Red Tree, besides this place being like yours,
And 3 times the size.
3 times the size, a fantasy factory outside, your own parking lot for parking.
Yeah,
Oh,
got a lot of
sweet.
stuff we needed.
It was sweet.
And
but
the open room was sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah.
3 inches of water in the basement were not.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I probably gotta pay extra for that kind of.
Generally.
All of it's kind of like an evolution too, to combine all the businesses and stuff like that over time. 'Cause remember, it started True Tattoo Supply out of my
I remember.
home.
I
And I
remember.
literally got rid of every piece of furniture and everything in my downstairs of my house just to start the supply company, that later funded, Red Tree. And we started doing Red Tree orders out of Red Tree
I remember.
basement. We moved shelving in the basement and all that. Then we lost $15,000 in product and just our cost in
I remember
one night.
that.
From floods. And then those floods just continued. We ran out of space.
But if
Had
that was,
artists complaining that they wanted more kind of like privacy and they, didn't like that anybody could just walk right up. So I like the changes that we made here. Definitely that building was old too,
it
man.
was old, but if you would have owned the building, that shit would have changed.
Then I
real
probably
quick.
fixed
Yeah,
it myself.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
All this.
I remember moving True Tubes or True Tattoo Supply, probably at this point in
Into
time,
the actual warehouse back
From
then,
your
too.
house.
From my house, we filled it.
dude,
Yeah.
dude, trucks, like,
Yep.
like U-Hauls.
And I was like,
two,
how did I fit this much shit in my house?
right? It was under the stairs, Sid's
was
old
everywhere.
bedroom, like
I was trying to make furniture out of cases of True Grips and
right. But you have to start
like,
somewhere.
here, Sid, I need to make this bed out of True Tubes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and need you to stay.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you.
Yeah. You
Sleep on
couldn't
the
fit in the
floor.
garage either. That shit was full too.
Nice.
There was no
Yeah,
space in the
everywhere,
garage.
dude. Once I started going into my kids' room with the cases and shit, I was like, all right,
All right, we all sleep in the kitchen now,
Yeah,
guys.
There were probably some grips in the cabinets or something.
Who knows, dude?
But it's grown over the years.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, back to that studio. That studio was amazing.
it was
I mean,
fun.
but that's where we started, and then we
All right.
finished my back at the old retreat. I got tattooed. I've only been tattooed one time at this studio. the tie tattoo,
Yeah, you're right.
but that's the first time, probably not the last time.
I was the first tattoo in this room.
And this one, and this
Where weren't you?
That
Yeah.
was Durb's first tattoo in his new station.
Yeah, so
state.
station.
Is it?
It's the Ohio knuckle.
Okay, yeah.
Knuckles.
Did he?
Yeah,
did
that's
Knuckles
right.
too, though?
Yeah, he did. He
Okay.
did HYH, but he yeah.
For the
Knuckles.
state of Ohio. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Just
cool.
little
Exactly.
little
Yeah.
knuckle rocker. This is the same night Toby tattooed my head.
I was here. I remember we had it was a paint night or a potluck or.
I don't know.
So I remember you coming downstairs from getting your head tattooed. We were doing like a paint night or something outside.
Was I tattooing his head? But my
Yeah,
husband
that
likes
was
I
paint
was
night.
tattooing.
That
him.
was paint night. Was
Okay.
in Fonda. She did the other side.
That's it. That was
She did the
that was
flower.
the night. It was the
Yeah.
flower. I was thinking, did Toby do the rat?
Yeah.
Okay, I was correcting me. So I wasn't like far off from you were getting your head tattooed.
It's a lot of
Good memory, Brian.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
memory.
I tried.
You were close.
I was just blindly
Well,
agreed with you too. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
sounds
You
good.
got it.
I'd say your memory's better than mine.
Yeah, I smoked too much weed. I'm just gonna agree with this dude.
Yep. No, it's
I don't
not.
even
Sounds good. I still get told stories about parties I was at. Like, I wasn't even there. They're like, bullshit, dude. Like, let me tell you. I know. Yeah, that's always fun. I'm glad I got all the crazy shit out of my system before like cell phones with cameras and videos and all that shit was in everybody's hand.
Yeah, like as a, yeah,
Because like
growing up.
no one needs that like recorded.
Unless you're Durb Morrison. Have you ever noticed
would
that he
record it.
somehow has
Video.
videos from like
See, that doesn't just show you I'm not into social media now. I mean, I was recording shit as a teenager. Yeah, I still got all that footage.
VH8
Because I knew literally, I mean, not to sound like this, but I knew as I got older, that would be shit I would really want to look back on. And now looking back, I'm almost 50. I can't, like on some of the skateboard videos, I'm going down handrails and on half
No, I
pipes,
don't do rails or stairs.
launch
anymore.
ramps.
shit I don't do anymore.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
Break your
finish
hip
the
now,
sentence. I gave up skating. I'd moved to a new town. There was a little park right behind my house, a little half pipe, little spine rail, and I was like, cool. I haven't done this in a while.
Mhm.
Went up the quarter pipe once. Board went
Shit.
10 feet in the air, landed on my back. It did the slide to the other side of the park thing. And I walked and picked it up and walked to these two kids that were sharing a deck and was like, there you go.
It's yours now.
I walked my fucking
I-
he looked, he's like, really? I'm like, it's well used, but it's broken.
Yeah, I just
Have fun.
broke it in. Let it, no, it broke
Have
me
fun.
in.
I still
And I-
skate, but I don't do the stairs and the big
Yeah,
rails
man.
anymore.
I
I
was
was
never
never get
really,
older, or it's I can't afford to break an ankle and be out for
And you won't heal like you did.
that.
Fucking
Yeah,
20
that
years ago.
too. That too.
well, you don't need, life's a thrill enough now. You
Yeah.
don't need
Yeah.
anything else to scare you. You have a mortgage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You got real life problems. You don't need to like drop into the half pipe to be scared of it.
See, I feel like that's all I do skate now is like vert stuff, just because it's like where I feel comfortable. Where if I do fall, and I had to like fall the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, slide in.
Yeah, but doing a handrail or doing stairs, it's
Oh yeah, there's a
it's
finality.
it's
No
tough now.
padding.
Yeah, it's just
I was never really good ever. Like, ever. I did it just enough to say I could do it, but like,
I was also at
yeah,
that spot.
yeah.
I like tried, fell one too many times on my wrist, and I was like, okay, nope.
You know what I'm
Okay.
this? Skateboards were a mode of transportation when I was a kid. Like, yeah, you learned to ollie, but that was so you could get over the curb.
Yeah, the
Like,
cracks, the
Yeah, like,
curves.
it was just part of riding. So like, yeah, parks were you had to pay money and drive.
Yeah.
So like,
See, Brian, you've had Everett Park. You've been lucky to grow up with Everett Park.
Oh, that I mean, I did, but for the first the first part of me skating, it went because you guys like started that.
We're the generation of like kids that were getting arrested, literally getting arrested downtown Newark. Multiple kids of we all did, and we went in front of city council to get a place designated for us to
Right.
skate. That was Everett Park,
Mhm.
and now it's this huge.
Oh, dude, now
Concrete
it's arguably
park.
one of probably top 5 in the state now that we have now in the last
That's crazy.
last 4 or 5 years.
It's
It's a beautiful park now. It's big, like
well, it's huge.
it's like go bigger. I would say when you get to like the vert part, I mean, there's a full pipe.
Right.
I mean, I kind of stay towards the mini ramp kind of now.
Yeah.
I'll skate the full pipe, but I'm not trying to. I almost I can't afford to hurt myself. I just,
Right.
Oh, yeah, like before you drop in,
You don't bounce anymore.
you don't bounce anymore.
Yeah. You hit the concrete and you thud.
Well,
That's it. There's no wiggle.
I don't think there'll ever be a time where I don't get enjoyment out of it. I don't say it's like an outlet, but I just have fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I guess it's my thing, but I don't, like I said, I'm out there to enjoy myself, not hurt myself now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's just like my bikes have gotten a lot slower.
I feel that. I don't like now for exercise. I
You
don't,
know,
we
I'm
have,
a motorcycle.
oh, I'm thinking pedal bike.
Right.
You're cruising. I'm,
Right.
yeah,
I started going slower. I borrowed Fawn's bicycle. I ride it about once a month.
hell yeah.
More than I do. Clearly.
I'm very fortunate that there is a bike path system, like literally in the back of my neighborhood that I can jump on, and it takes me to either side of wherever I need to go
That's tight.
if I so wanted to do so. So it's easy to do. There's no travel necessary.
Viking Heights area.
No, I'm like Madison Township,
Okay.
just outside of Canal.
I know where you're at. I know where you're at. I was just thinking, because I'm from Newark, that bike path goes all the way to Johnstown, and I think they're getting ready to extend that past to Johnstown. I think you being in,
There,
you grew up in Licking Heights here.
yeah.
So I was assuming that they
You're
might.
Black Hand Gorge Path,
I know where that's at. That
So-
connects to it somehow.
right? So Black Hand Gorge connects to the Ohio Greenway Path.
I didn't know that.
So
But
if
that's cool.
they connect that, it'll connect to the whole network. So Ohio actually is one of a few states that have invested a shit ton of money into these bike paths. Right, they're old
Dope. That's cool.
old railroad
Yeah.
clearings
Yes,
or
absolutely. That's
tow
how-
paths from canals and stuff like that. And they've just went through and they paved a ton of them. You can go Erie to Cincy to all the way around. Like it's crazy how intricate and how many parks these paths connect and stuff
Right.
like that. Like you pull the whole map up and you can pretty much get anywhere in Ohio you want to
I
go.
have
If
to do
you
that and look, because I
for-
know in the summertime, which I didn't do much this summer, but from Newark to Johnstown, it's 15 miles there and 50 miles back. You just
Mhm.
like can make that happen. I mean, it takes a while, but
Yeah, that's a day.
yeah, well, I mean, depends on
No,
if
I'm
you're
just
cruising or
Um,
trying to get it done.
that's the other thing too. I would need 6 months of exercise before that.
Yeah.
you gotta prepare
Before that
yourself
was
that way.
possible.
I feel that.
So but yeah, I'm
The
a,
old-
let me know.
We used to at the beginning, I would say the beginning of Red Tree, but right when we were like Durb moved from old Red Tree to new Red Tree, we had like a scooter gang.
Yeah.
I miss it. I do miss it.
Me too, man.
We
I
need
actually.
a scooter gang again.
We should. It was just like one of those things where
It's just a way for us to hang out and go down and just get silly too. Ride the scooters around, we'll
was
ride
fun.
scooters all over downtown.
Well, see, here's the gig that works for you guys that are under 200 pounds. I
And Ben's
got
like, I will not.
one of those scooters when I was in Memphis. Right, Memphis isn't the flattest city. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
This thing just laughed at me. We started going up the hill. I was like, bro, you better walk. Like, just get off of me. So I got a different brand.
Just get off of me.
See, that's
Thinking maybe I got like the wrong one. You know, nope. Next one was like, can you push?
Yeah, the first ones here
I'm
and
gonna need assistance.
the first ones in Columbus were the bird ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tony Terrell was like, we gotta get the app for the lime ones. It's like, because they were like,
We had backup, so if we couldn't find a bird scooter, we'd switch to our Lime app and just ride the bird scooter with Lime.
yeah, but I think the lime ones, I don't know if they had like the get up and go, but like the top speed was faster. So if you didn't.
Vaughn, you were in scooter gang. You know what's up.
Yeah,
We're
I
supposed to
think
talk
they
about
all all across
Never
the
gonna
city
get
are programmed to go 15. I don't think any of them actually go 15. Like if you get on a downhill, you can push it to like 15.3.
Right.
But like
Do
there's
they-
definitely
Yeah,
more
governed.
juice to them. They're just throttled.
Do they
like-
stop at nighttime now too, still? So I know at like a certain time that you want to.
Yeah, I don't think you were. It was for safety reasons.
Yeah, the one experience I had with them was trying to get like downtown on 4th of July.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Good luck. You might as well just
Yeah.
walk.
Well, no, so the one I picked up, they just like completely blocked out the entire downtown area. They're like, yeah, that's a no ride zone. And I had to like walk mine back like across
So it
the
didn't
bridge
matter.
to leave, so I could turn the app off and continue to walk to my
Foil just
destination.
land.
Yeah,
I think we
That
gotta,
sucks.
yeah.
hopefully like the city of Newark or Columbus isn't like listening to this, but we used to jump them things downstairs.
Oh, dude,
and
we
shit.
like put tires on them. It's like you go pick up another bird scooter.
The
Go
city of Columbus,
crash it.
their bird would be the one I'd be with.
Or like old
Exactly.
skateboarders on those things. Yeah. Or like old
There's a force
skateboarders
that-
on those things. Like we're not. Hey. Too bad.
All right, so hear me out. Do you think they'd give us a discount if we bought like a 5-pack of Vespas? We just
Hold
go and
on.
we're like,
Which
guys,
Vespa are we talking? Because they're not all created equal. Are we talking like GT 250? Because you can
Oh,
take those
no, you
suckers
take-
on the highway.
See,
That's the
now,
only one I'm interested
that is the price commitment of the
Like, can I
whole
drive to
gang.
work?
in.
They don't have to be a Vespa. I just knew everybody knew what that was. And if I said scooter, there would need to be like 7 more words to describe what I was talking about. So
How do you feel about the one wheels?
fuck
Dangerous
all
as
the way
fuck,
off.
dude.
Like I am
I've had
fat
friends get
fine.
really messed up. with this.
I want anything that doesn't have at least 2 wheels in the throttle.
You fall, game over.
Bruh.
Yeah,
earthquakes
those
happen.
things are dangerous,
I've
man.
I've never ridden one, but I've had a lot of people tell me when the first generation one wheels came out, there was no, hey, the battery's gonna die. Like no. It's just a
Yeah.
3, 2, or not even a 3, 2, 1. It was just like flat, like just when you're skateboarding, you flop and
Yeah, man.
So I mean,
Like hit
Good.
rocks with
I
wheels.
value my face.
Face.
What got rid of that?
Well, I would totally. I've never rode one, but I would totally like to try one out. I'm sure they're fun. I'm sure they're. A
There's
blast.
lots of things that are a blast that we shouldn't be doing right now.
That's
Can we
true.
just be honest?
Right.
That's true.
That's why they're fun.
One thing
Because you're
that
not supposed to be doing it.
one thing that you guys do is when we do like kayak days and you
Yeah.
guys jump. I ride roller coasters. I go in airplanes, but
See, it's
the
not-
You're
whole
a boss of crazy.
it's the whole
shit.
jumping off into water I can't see in. I don't know if I have like a phobia. I just don't want to
Did you
land
see
on
the
a
bridge we jumped off of?
No, I see them. I watch you guys do it, but I watch
Yeah.
you do it, and it's not that I'm scared to jump. Like we went like
It's the-
skydiving. I'm
it's the
in,
climb up.
You don't know what's under the water.
It's the-
that's the thing. I don't want to land on the stick and go like.
Once I've
But
watched
don't
2 or 3
like
people
this
go, I don't
deep.
care.
Yeah,
You can't tell.
It's the
Yeah,
climb
go
up.
with a broken ankle.
Can I be real?
yeah.
I don't want to climb this rusty bridge with no shoes on and like half underwear shorts. Cause I mean, bathing suits are the, most concealing. And then
Pop up, your wiener hanging out.
flop my
Get
fat
I don't
ass
know.
down into the
Don't
water.
pack up
I'm
trunks.
I just don't want to. I don't know if it's like I've had the luxury or the privilege to go to Hawaii and you jump into the water and it's crystal clear and you know what
You know what's up.
like
Right.
I'm jumping off 30
I don't-
foot things and you're like I can see the water. I can
I
see.
know what's going on. I mean,
Yeah. That's just
most-
it just freaks me out. I'm not being a big baby. I'm just maybe I am just
you
being,
like to be alive. There's nothing wrong with that.
I just watched 10 of my friends do it and I'm the one down there like
Yeah.
filming their dumb asses like
I'll hold your back.
yeah.
I generally don't get out of my boat when I go kayaking.
I feel it.
I,
feel
I,
it.
I want all my stuff that's in my boat to
Yeah.
be dry.
Dude, the last couple of years I've been going kayaking. I don't know if it's dumb, smart. The water's not that
Cold.
deep
Right?
in the snow. And
Yeah, I've
I
noticed
mean,
that, man.
You just
Jeez.
don't get out of the boat, like you said.
Right. But they make insulated bottoms specifically for that. So you can line the bottom of your
Yeah,
kayak
Brian has a feeling you're.
and not freeze your legs.
I just wear the Carhartt. I wear plenty of clothes, so if I get wet, I just sink and die. No, no,
You're all marshmallow trying to swim to shore.
right. Can't get through not getting wet. Here, I guess it's kind of the cheap way. Like the last time I did it, I don't wear like wet gear. I just put like a trash bag over me because when you're like, but you're paddling.
So-
It's not getting out. It's the water that the paddle brings up.
Yeah, hear me out. Hear me out. So they make these things for sea kayaks
Uh,
that you zip up around your body that attach to the inside line.
I
So and then you're just dry, bro.
when I went whitewater rafting, people doing the individual kayaks, that's where I saw them. They
You
had
have you have to trust your ability as a kayaker to be strapped into the boat, though.
yeah, the water that I'm going in, dude. If I
Yeah,
flip
but
upside down, I'm
it's
straight up
so
myself.
Kayaking, kayakers,
Kayakers.
kayak guys.
Kayak.
Is it a pot of kayak?
Is it a pot?
A gaggle of kayak.
Maybe I hit this one more time.
The yak.
Yakking. I have a yak pack.
See?
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
See,
yep. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull that on me. I'm cool.
Yakking? You guys wanna go yakking?
I've never been yakking.
I'm ready to go
Never
kayaking.
been
you've never been kayaking?
We
Kyle?
didn't go as a group.
Kyle,
did
dude, we go every year, pretty much.
No,
Did we go this last year?
Dude, we must not have, because Kyle's been here, almost.
Did we not hit it last
I
summer?
haven't had any big trips like we usually do.
I didn't.
Wait, didn't there was a Trapper John run at least once?
Yeah, but
thought
we
there
didn't have
was.
like the whole huge like.
Or I think we
20+
invited everybody.
Smaller groups.
I boycott Trapper John's though now, so
Tramper James.
if we go, it's renegade style, baby. I'm putting it at the park next door, and someone's
Yeah.
coming picking me up
Right.
That's
because
what.
that dude can S a D.
Ben, you got a truck, I got a van.
That's what I'm saying, girlie. We can
The
figure this
math
out.
adds up.
We ain't pat. We ain't.
The
we
math
ain't-
adds up.
we ain't paying for nothing.
Grove City. Yeah, that's
Find some way to get it in there.
You know I'm the creeper in the room, always.
You wanna get in my van with Jen's tattoos? Wait a minute.
No.
I saw this movie.
I have puppy and
Wait,
candy.
I think it's a bus though. I think it's a van.
I passed a party bus the other day
Illusion.
and I was like, man, could you imagine traveling in that thing? And I was like, man, could you imagine 8 miles per gallon?
Jeez, no way.
I'm sitting around 16. I mean,
That's where I'm at. No,
It's not-
one of the cars.
too bad. Not
Oh,
too
didn't you
bad.
have, at one point in time, didn't you have one of those little cars?
Sedan.
A smart car?
Dude.
I want another one.
But I've seen your car, Kyle.
I technically still have it, yes.
Fair trade.
I was gonna say, at one point in time, I remember you having one.
Oh, that thing's so fun in the snow.
I've been trying to talk Fauna to go on halvesies on another smart car just so we can.
Yeah,
put a
that's-
GTR motor.
That's how
It's
you're
like-
driving way back in the day.
It's like halfway between mine and Ben's house, but it's a convertible. That's kind of like a deal breaker. But man, they have had it for quite a long time.
Which leads me to believe there's something fucking wrong with it.
Probably.
But if we're gonna put a,
It's like a for sale sign in it?
it's a hood dealership.
Okay.
But if the plan is to put a new motor in it anyway,
Soup it up.
well,
Yeah,
Most-
I thought they were electric.
they're
No.
Hayabusa swap out.
yeah, you can get
They come with-
Hayabusa motors.
They come with a GSXR,
Okay.
so you
Noise,
can swap
noise.
it out.
Yeah,
And
sure
they're
is.
rear wheel drive.
And
so
the
you
paddle
can-
shift.
Yeah.
They're essentially mini roll cages.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't have this.
They're go
You guys want to start a smart car club with me?
So y'all talking?
I say we
mini
start
cube
having
gangs.
smart car shows and everything.
Rally 'em.
Pull up with their smart cars, open the hoods at Jegs. Hanging out all night.
Smart car. They're actually way more spacious than you would imagine. Like, I'm not that
there's
small
nothing
of a
in it.
person.
It's the same with a Miata.
Yeah, if
Like,
you-
how do you fit in a Miata? There's nothing in them but a seat.
If you can
There's
ride
actually
in like
pretty
if you can
generous.
imagine like a Ford Ranger or an S10, like that's what it feels like. Like there's everything's just like an arm's reach away. Ergonomically, it's kind of perfect.
You can touch everything.
I forgot about you in the truck.
Yeah,
About
good.
that.
It's a good time.
All smooth.
You did get it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's outside.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it's gonna be this
But so-
green
Speaking
stuff.
of your truck, Ben, your sticker collection is coming along beautifully already.
That was one purchase of stickers.
That's all.
Like, I was back and was like, oh shit, I should put some of these on the. But yeah. You can't have the work vehicle not all stickered up.
Fair. I'll have to.
The car has no
I'll have to
stickers.
check out the truck and then check out the stickers too.
You can do it at the same time. They're in the same
Yes.
place.
Well, before we leave it, wait a minute. Time change happened. It's dark already.
Bro,
Let's
it's
talk about
dark
shit.
on the way
I know.
here and my soul cried.
I don't like
I
it.
hate
Like,
I don't
I
like
thought
it, man.
it's 5:30. I haven't even had dinner. And I already feel like I should be asleep.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Nope.
Made me sad.
I feel like this year is the toughest adjustment to the time change I've ever experienced in my entire life.
I mean, I didn't.
I don't know what makes it different, but it just seems like everybody hates it so much more this fall
I
than
get it.
ever before.
Like the adjustment for me, like as far as like sleep schedule, I was cool. It's just what I can't stand is just getting dark. Well, Ben said at 5:15, 5:30.
Yeah.
It's pitch dark. You just.
It's not like it gets bright earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on.
I mean, correct me if I'm. There are some states that don't change, right?
I think it's just there.
There's some, that's it.
Are we all getting ready to stop it though?
There's a petition right now.
That's what I thought, yeah, stop
It
it.
makes my brain hurt.
Yeah,
So I
man.
was reading about the
Not
history of
good.
daylight savings time, and apparently in New Zealand, this didn't pass, but they at one point proposed a 2-hour switch. Could you imagine
What?
what a
Hear me
slingshot
out,
that would
hear
be
me
to your circadian rhythm?
I'm
Well-
close to the equator.
Time isn't that important. Because like you can adjust your schedule to whatever number that happens to be.
Right.
Like,
Oh yeah, time's made up.
so like
I mean, it was originally just made for farmers.
tomorrow,
So, like,
AM, right
farmers
after
just
the
get up
sun
earlier.
comes up, meet me here. It's okay with me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's a perfectly arranged time for me. PM. Cool.
I'll be there.
I'll be there. People make shit too complicated.
Yeah, they do.
Time.
Time is not on your
It's
side.
It's just a reason to be upset when somebody doesn't listen to the rules. What, you're late now? Why is there so much pressure on this situation?
You're here.
Come on, let's just take a whole step back, guys. It's not important. No one's life's on the line. Let's just take this pressure off the situation. I'm just saying. Being person. Good job, guys.
All these rotary pens, there's no noise.
Yeah, you can't even hear the machines nowadays.
I remember like the first Hell City that I attended or was around.
You sound like a chainsaw.
Hold on
Sound
a
like
sec. I gotta ask a question. How long have you been helping with Hell City, Brian?
Long
I don't
time.
know the date, but I can tell you the show. It was when Guy brought Interstate to Columbus. Whatever year that was, I don't know. That was my first year. And I was in that room with Soren.
In the art gallery,
And
right?
it was the art gallery, but it also was Interstate.
Oh,
I
it
was
was
in that
Interstate,
room
right.
with all those
Michael,
people that
yeah.
I had no idea who they were. I mean, I was looking back on it and seeing it. I was in this room with these caliber. I mean, I would say tattoo artists, but at that show, they were painters. And they weren't doing like little paintings. They were massive, giant,
Yeah, heavy
like-
hitters.
like it was unbelievable to see, but it was also, I would say, my first introduction to the show. Whatever year that was my
I think
first
like
year.
2008 or 9 or something, or
That sounds about right.
Long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an amazing event by Guy. Guy's done quite a bit of events at Hill City over the years.
Is there like an actual list of who was there? Like at that, who was actually painting?
I think there is in the
There's a book
In the
out.
book there?
Yeah, the book. It
I was
has a
looking
list
through
of
it not too long
everybody.
ago.
I got the book over there on that
It's
bookshelf.
down on the stage, actually.
But
We
it
stole
actually
it.
has like,
It's still down there.
Okay.
I believe it does have a list.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'm gonna have to actually go back and look through. Like I could name, like I think Carson Hill was one of them, obviously Guy.
Michelle.
I I didn't know that. I don't remember that. I remember
The
I think Phil
Plumley
Roberts.
brothers. The Plumley brothers.
The pump, yeah.
Yeah. Marty Holcomb.
See, that's what you just said. I don't remember Marty. That's but
Yeah, Marty was there.
I was just closing it because even though the guy took the time to send me the Da Vinci Code bank statements, I still saw that it was showing up in the camera and I want to protect people's privacy.
good man.
So this
Oh,
is somebody that like
Good
I'm
man.
about to buy a property from. I was like, hey, I want to be able to verify deposits because he takes a lot of cash. I mean, like 6 figures a month.
Yeah.
This is what he sent me. Hey guys, unless you got some red string in here, I
yeah,
don't know how I plan on trying to figure out what this is.
yeah. That's
Wow.
But then, so I was about to go through it, and I was like, you know what, I need a break. And then I looked
Yeah.
at my shoulder and saw it on the camera. I was like, with my luck, this dude's gonna just happen on this thing. Now it's
yeah.
So that's why
Not a fan. Yeah.
You know, like,
she's like, there's that bald son of a bitch. Left out of my bank statements, and then he put them on the internet.
yeah.
Well,
Hell,
that's almost like the not quite near the caliber of Kyle putting Farm's license
Oh shit.
on our jumbotron. When
It came up extremely small.
the excuses
Not even on there.
extremely
Back
small.
re-edited it.
Extremely small. The TV is
Flip it up.
78 inches wide.
Right.
This big on the television.
Zoom's not a thing. Zoom's
If you
not
go
a
back
thing.
and watch the episode
hand
now,
out.
though, you can see where Kyle took that like, few seconds out that it was up there.
Cuts in
But
your
the
lap.
melt, makes it sound like he showed something so explicit. Because I'm like,
How'd you get my phone?
Still.
it's like dramatic to nothing.
How'd you get my phone? Why'd you get my phone?
Okay, nothing crazy, just a driver's license.
Just a driver's license.
Yeah, so imagine if you went to the psychopath list to literally print this out, take a black marker and line through everything. Like half of these are probably porn subscriptions or like OnlyFans.
I don't want him to know my business.
Too like
Yes.
Yeah.
that's like us. That's why I'm like
So,
to be honest, I'm gonna hold that shit to the light, like
yeah.
scrape some of that off.
I'm gonna need original copies of the
Yes. We're gonna do business. We gotta trust each other.
I gotta really.
Now,
What are you into?
Yeah.
Nope.
Snow White, we were just talking about that.
Bank statements and they'll be like, well, don't look through it. And I'm like, well, now I want to look through
Yeah.
it. Like, why?
Wait.
Like, why?
I generally-
Why the fuck do you think
yeah, somebody brings it up like that.
like don't look through it? That's why I asked for it.
Like honestly, we'll open one up, we'll look at the
Deposit.
balance,
Right.
and then for any deposit that has like a couple zeros on it, to be like, hey, why did you get this 10 grand or whatever?
Yeah.
And then if there was any overdraft, and if I don't see those three things, I'll close it.
Wouldn't
won't even
care.
look. But then people will say stuff like that. So then I'll be like, hold on, and I'll pull it back up and I'll start
Sketchy.
scrolling real slow. And I'm like, dude, Taco Bell, Quick Stop, Taco Bell, Burger King, Best Buy. $2.99, King.com. Then there's three in a row, like OnlyFans, $7, OnlyFans, $4. I'm like, oh, couldn't help yourself. man.
See you.
Couldn't help yourself.
Telling all your friends. It's over.
So what you're saying is I
You
need
wanna
to
look
read
at Separate each other. We're talking about my statement. I closed the laptop. Come on. That off second line, like, jeez.
Durb, Jess, and myself were just out in Vegas for a tattoo show. And of course, Durb, first and last stop has to be the dispensary.
Oh, yeah.
And
Guess which one?
yeah. And we go in and I use my debit card. And my first thought was like, oh, I wonder if the bank people are gonna know care that I smoked that pot. And I was like,
We're gonna get the airport in Columbus in 2
yeah.
That's still like US Bank.
Yeah, $60 with a pot. What a
Yeah, right,
piece of shit.
See you.
A piece of shit. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not important. I'm not. They
Going to
don't.
that dispensary, there's a fucking photo like blown up of Durb's face. Like, come on in. Like, I've been with him in there a dozen times, and every fucking person in that store knows it.
I know.
Chupacabra.
Yeah.
Skills of Luke. Remember, man.
Yeah. Oh, they
Don't
know.
Those are all the time.
Yeah.
They know.
And they know him.
Yep.
They know.
I'm on Vegas peeps.
That tattooed piece of
That's nice
shit.
out there, all recreational though, man.
He's back.
He's fucking back again.
The weed out there is like totally different. 'Cause, yeah, their whole recreational factor is way different.
Like the fact that we just smoked outside of PF Chang's and then walked into PF.
Yeah, dude. Like,
And the
cause
way-
you don't be like,
Yeah.
you smell weed, you're like, oh, whatever.
Can you leave me some of that?
Yeah.
I need cash. Like I'm gonna take my cash to buy some. Would you leave some weed?
Yeah. Good times.
I still have never bought weed at a dispensary.
No, I
I
like
mean,
it.
I think I used to go to California, they had like a vending machine for like express checkout. Where you
That's
just
cool.
like walk up, tap your buttons and it just gives you a
C4.
fucking jar.
They don't take cash, it's just debit card.
Most of the time, they just got a standard driver's license.
And they-
Luckily,
Yes.
I've got long driver's license, and I'll just put that. Save that on
Thank
the spot.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks a lot.
I have video files on it.
That's awesome.
You know what? If that's all you're going to use my driver's license for, Brian,
Right.
you
Right.
be like, Fawn Baker checks out.
You know her too.
Yes.
My thing is like, you want to steal my identity? You think you can do better with it than I can? Go, feel free to try.
Help
Let me know. Like,
Help me out.
let me know.
We make that joke like once a month. I'm like, we'll get a fraud thing on one of my business accounts, and I'm like, should I let him? Should I let him? You know, like, congratulations, you have millions of dollars of debt. Try not to kill yourself.
Yes.
Like,
But
one of your tenant sent your building on fire today, and they didn't.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Welcome to my life.
congratulations.
Enjoy.
It's not funny.
Exactly. But yeah, man, take it.
Have fun with it.
See if you can do anything better than I can.
You know, that is a story I've never gotten from a client before. Jen, we communicate pretty easily with one another, but she messaged that it was, you know, like an hour and a half before our scheduled time. She's like, hey, we're running late. Client or a tenant just about burned the whole building down. I was like, oh, well, you go ahead and deal with that.
Just another
Okay,
thing.
right here.
More important.
And then they get here and tell the story, and like, I knew I'd hear it. And sure enough, she literally almost burned the whole building down, like multiple incense burning. Did you know that they make trays that you're supposed to put underneath incense? This
You mean-
girl didn't know
You
that.
mean the wood trays?
This girl didn't know.
No, she did. She stuck it in the light switch.
Oh, you
Lit it to
just
go.
fucking.
And then it was just like coming towards the light switch, like a slow,
Mhm.
very slow motion movie.
Mhm.
And she had done it once before, obviously, because there was already a burn mark on one side. And then on another one, there was another burn mark. So I'm like, this isn't a one time.
No,
And
no,
then over on like a bookshelf, just like that kind of bookshelf, she had two just hanging off and a stack of paperwork of all of
no.
her like bills and stuff she doesn't
No.
pay. And then like the little pieces of ash are just falling on it. And I'm like, why is there smoke in here? I just sent Jen through the kitchen window because we didn't have keys for her unit. So I'm like, I kick her door down, but then I have to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just went through this window and hope that dog's gone. So I was like, hey babe, here's a knife.
Yeah. Good luck.
Go kill the dog and open the door.
It's like, you're back in there. Get in there. She went through the window and I heard some rustling and she got the door open. So, hey babe.
So we're
Nailed it.
we're shoving the dog. That's it.
The funny part was, like, came inside, I was like, where's the dog? And she was like, oh, there's no dog here. And I'm like,
What?
the dog has always been here.
It's on a
She's
walk.
wiping the
Hey,
blood
is
off
that
the
an
face.
ear tag?
Ear?
Is that ear from a dog? Like,
She was just with the idiot tenants on a walk.
Yeah,
I'm like,
luckily.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks.
yeah, no, yeah. We just, and she was like, well, it helps with the smell. I'm like, you lit the house on fire.
Yeah.
She's like, does it smell good though? I was like,
Smell good.
It smells like
Like,
Yeah,
thank you.
I looked at you, I was like, I have to go. I
Yeah.
have to go somewhere else in this
Yeah.
building right now. I went to the basement, stood down there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I was like, nothing.
Breathing.
Nothing.
Looking at the election, like, I set this thing on fire the rest of the way.
Right, yeah. Let's burn the whole
All
down.
insurance on this building.
Kyle,
Yeah.
rewind that last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But to answer your questions, no, they do not make wood trays that go underneath us. Oh, wait.
Oh wait.
Yes, they do.
They do.
They make some pretty cool ones too. You can get a little dragon on it. So
And tell her now. Tell her now.
Good job,
ship dispensers in.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude, just Amazon it to her house.
To our house.
Just no gift name. Just
Oh no.
wait. Put your company logo on it.
Oh, absolutely.
I am sure there is a custom
Oh, yeah.
we'll make this for you place.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm a
Mhm.
good landlord. Like, there's those landlords that are like, I don't know if you guys have seen that meme where like the tenant sends a picture of a bunch of rats like in their bathroom. And they're like, hey, the bathroom's full of rats. And then the landlord's text message underneath says, hey, there's no pets on your lease.
Yeah.
$10 pet policy.
Yeah.
Rent's still due on the 10 or something. Like, I'm not that one. If they send me something weird or crazy, I'm like, we'll
That's
get out there and
fucking
fix it.
funny.
That is fucking
And
funny.
we'll call it the landlord special where like places will have roaches or bugs and they'll come in with a paint gun and just spray it. And that stuff in that actually
Yeah, man.
encapsulates them and then seals them. And then they do die because it dries out their exoskeleton.
Mhm.
But then you'll see all these cockroaches painted to the
Mm.
walls. I'm like, I don't do anything like that. So when we go into a unit like the one today that we bought last year, we spent $60,000 renovating, making it very nice. And then I have to send my wife through a window because it's on fire because an incense is plugged into the out. I'm just like,
Come
you know what?
on.
Maybe I should nail the door. Hey, no, go inside. I'm gonna nail the door closed, and then we'll just see what happens in natural selection.
Yeah.
If she can find
That's not
the
natural selection. You fucking now.
it's the guy who turns the. She's find her way through the window. She should be able to find her way out of the window.
Yeah. I don't know.
At least it smells good, right?
Is that
It's
fire?
burning.
Did I light one too many?
Yeah. Questionable thoughts.
Mm, ugh. Well, some people just can't have nice things.
No.
Yeah.
They won't if they burn it down.
I mean, I'll be honest, fun like that setup we saw at a certain tattoo convention on the back of a U-Haul was nicer than one of her bedrooms, was it not, Jen?
Rough.
So I mean, someone's got it figured out.
Oh.
Burn.
Bum, bum, ba-da.
Is
That's
that-
a prostitute joke for those of you that aren't keeping up.
Means that
Zero transparency.
that convention's, I mean, I didn't get the privilege or luxury of going, but that's happening again though, right? It's
Yeah, you can
No
find
way.
it.
that's
They'll probably have new and improved prostitutes.
out of
Okay.
U-Haul, they're getting a Penske.
So here we here.
They got a bounce.
Yeah, they stepped it up to
up.
Penske with Lincoln.
I know.
Vent. It's vented. It's not really AC. We get a refrigerator truck.
Anything would have been better. We're like, I think you all smell like
Oh,
a
God.
mattress laying on that metal, right by the skunk petting area.
Yeah, there's a skunk petting zoo. You were going.
To be fair, the skunks were on the opposite side of the building.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they're outside.
And they were
They're a cute spot.
dropped you growth off of the skunk exhibit, and then I went and checked out a U-Haul. It's fine.
Full inspection.
Start finding food.
Yeah.
Right?
It's fine.
In U-Haul.
That we could never find.
Something about Chinese food this way.
Yeah, is it?
But if it's happening, can we go?
Can we
Do you
go?
want to go like as the?
Oh,
as
they would
the
love to
show?
see me there.
We could
I don't give a shit.
go, like
In any capacity, as
spectator,
spectators, I'll buy a booth. Apparently, fucking cheap. Let's just get a booth so we can place it hanging.
Get tattooed by you because
Just for another weekend.
and Fawn made it fun.
Yeah, we made the
Life
best
was
of it.
okay, so like I would go because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
No,
we made the best.
I say we come
Other
up with a
stuff going
bullshit
in and
name
do that at
and
the
don't
same time.
run it under any. And
And a parody on True Tube, like
uh-huh.
okay.
Which we're getting ready to do the video again.
Which one?
The True Tues. I use my True Tues.
Yeah, so thanks.
My
Look at
True
parody.
Tues.
For maple syrup.
Our daughter got her arm broken and she's rocking around school right now with pink True Tubes wrapped around her cast.
Loving it.
Because she wanted it. That's
cool. Love
We saw it always on Jen when Jen's wrapped up and she's like, can I have some of that? So last time I was in here, I asked her.
Yeah, you guys
if I could
got
have
some.
one.
Yeah.
And he sent Jess downstairs and she comes up with 40. So, yeah, you're representing. Start
Wrap it
wrapping
up, baby. Wrap
Wrap
it
that
up.
shit up.
Like, tattoos in your hand? I'm like, you're gonna find out.
You'll
Yes, I'm
see.
kidding.
not till they're 12, Brian.
Not till they're 12.
So I'm gonna do sign that paper.
I did. I may have ordered full sleeve temporary tattoos for LB for Christmas,
Cool.
and I'm pretty pumped to like deck
You
them.
can fucking love them.
There were some face tatties, and then we're gonna go public.
TikTok video.
All right. Damn.
What'd you break?
He broke his cabinet.
All right,
Draw, you been
flex-
lifting?
flexed on it.
For those of you that can't see Jordan in the other room, and all of us are reacting to him,
Yeah,
he just ripped his cabinet apart,
he's hulking out.
and
He's hulking out, man.
pure Hulkamania. Hey, I know
Sure.
the guy that put those together. I'll call him and see if he can't come repair.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, that was me.
Yeah, this guy.
Well, shit.
Fuck.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but these cabinets require a degree in
Oh,
engineering
dude, they are
to put together. They're flat packed,
difficult.
Yeah.
bruh. They were a 6-hour job, and I put together a dozen of them. That was the
Dude, for
hone
real,
down,
no
like
joke.
refine time. I was pumped to get it into 6. Yeah. Fuck those cabinets.
No,
Yeah.
so we bought 8 desks from IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know where this is going.
Yeah.
8 for our office.
So 8 hours a piece.
And
Mhm.
so I tried to build the first one, and like 14 hours in, I called Jen and 2 other girls, and I was like, I'm doing this all wrong.
I need some analytical
And I
people
was
here.
like, you all come in here, and then we laid
Read
out the
me
pieces.
the
And then
instructions.
like they would put one piece up and then the next piece, and then it was like an assembly line. I was like, oh, I see what you guys are doing here. And then we took it down to about 4 hours a desk.
Mm-hmm.
And we had one guy who actually held our GC license, build one by himself. And we gave him the instructions. And by the time it was done, he had gone out to his truck, come back in with like a finish nailer. It had to nail.
Fuck
pieces.
it.
I was like, I think IKEA intended this thing to have rat nails in it. And
There's
an
an
extra
extra.
drawer, and it would like fall a little bit.
Damn.
Well, we'll go order 8 more. Fuck.
Yeah.
But all the girls' desks worked.
I don't know.
Was it his desk that he
Well,
put
we
together?
didn't use it too.
Good.
We tried to switch a bunch of times, and we just kept putting it back.
Love it.
Like, nope.
And he'd pull his drawer, and it would fall out. We'd stare at him, like, "Who built that one?"
Mr. G.
All the girls are over there, like, "Ours works so well." I was like, "So does mine." Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, IKEA's fun.
Oh yeah,
I recently built a bed from them.
you're a fucking brave man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had lots of help, and I greatly appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Holders. People just
No,
hold
no,
it.
like clearly read me step B,
Oh,
and when I get frustrated, just do it, and then I'll move to step C.
yeah.
And
Okay.
then step B is that dude that's crying, and it's just a picture. With hangers. Oh my god, I'm nuts. There. What's that now?
It's really just the 7 stages of grief.
Yeah.
Paper.
You have a wobbly desk here. You knew this was coming. Come on. You should have paid the $49 to have that kid build it
Right?
flawlessly. Like,
You think that. Let me tell you, I was offered
they
a
can make a mess
position
of all.
to build IKEA furniture, and I looked at him like, you don't pay nearly enough money for me to do this. Not just speed. Like, is there like a college course that I get to take to learn the philosophy of like Swiss building
to be honest,
before I can
you
do
even
this?
say half the apply like their furniture's names. So I'm like, what's this
No.
one? Jen's like, it's the Alexis. I'm like, oh, that's fancy. What's that one's name? She's like, oh, that's the Troy. I'm like, oh, nobody likes the Troy.
Yeah. It's not-
But
Oh, Troy. Last name is Alicia. Jesus.
I was trying to buy a pillow there, right? I
Hey.
fucked it up. That was the problem.
Oh,
So it was like down with like a foamy in the end middle, right? Nope, the one I bought was completely different and $130. So I get to the register and they ring it up and I'm like, okay, I didn't realize it was that expensive. To get it home and it was wrong. Because Burlington Barberton was really Burlington Barberton.
It ain't close enough.
No, like
I thought you something.
Yeah.
first 4, like letters in the word and match the first 4 on the no.
No.
No, the Harfenhagen was what mattered.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
I was so mad. So mad. It's a pillow. I'm not taking it back. How do you what do you look like
Yeah,
as the
right.
guy that returned the pillow? No.
I used it. I used it. Bring it in.
Yeah, my face is behind.
Speaking of
Fucking
faces on
Ikea.
people, let's look at some of Jen's tattoos over there.
Yeah.
How many strange men do you have tattooed on your body, Jennifer?
Wait.
None
Well,
of them
that
were
doesn't.
Faces?
Dolls count as faces. It's a very
Those are
loaded
strange.
question.
Do any of them have a song about women not being allowed to read or talk or have opinions?
Gaston? Gaston?
Oh, Gaston. Good. Dating Gaston.
A dozen.
Oh,
I was a lad eggs for a dozen eggs or something like that. Every morning to help me get large.
The Beauty and the Beast.
All that I'm grown.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast. Okay, yeah. I've seen that one. The one that you're working on, that's a newer one though, right? A newer Disney
Yeah.
movie? Okay, I have not seen that.
yeah, this guy's more of a like inhaler kind of guy. And like, lights and then lights some incense and he puts the wood down.
Yeah,
You're playing a trumpet with an alligator.
I'm going to his house.
Right, it's not like, yeah.
It's super fun to be honest.
Princess and the Frog is one of my favorite Disneys.
I haven't seen it.
There's all kinds of like
Yeah.
awesomeness in that one. It's very voodoo based.
Yeah.
It's very like there's a reason for the magic. It's the first one that they're like, nah, we just don't have magical powers. They're like, no, guys, we like sacrifice things,
Yeah.
and you gotta prick your blood and put this magic amulet and then some voodoo shit. It's like the most realistic one ever. It's kind of my fave. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Well, at least Ben's on your side, Jen.
I'm a Disney kid, so
Oh, dude, I
happen to be in the swing of it.
I've seen all the VHS tapes, like the plastic.
Yeah,
tapes.
for real, bro. I grew up on that shit.
Yeah, same.
And now I have my kid turns 5 this weekend. How stupid is that?
Yeah.
He's
But,
a fucking
like, I'm
Jello, man.
I'm in the middle of all of it.
Been watching it.
Like,
You're like, we're gonna watch the Disney movies that I watch. She's like, those are cool.
no, she loves the old ones. That's her
Yeah.
favorites.
Good.
Because now we can put them on sing along and
Is
all
that a good thing? Like,
I don't know. Disney Plus rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Disney
Sing
Plus.
search your own shit.
good. You know, I'm gonna have to put the VHS tape in the VCR and make sure it's wound.
I showed her a VHS and she was so
Scratch her little
confused.
brain.
Oh, yeah, they can comprehend.
She knows what CDs are. She doesn't know quite how to use them, but because we have a game system, she knows what the CD
Yeah.
is. So she always is like, Dad, can we put the DVD? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that, kid. Like, it does not give, I can search for it on the programs for you. So I don't have a DVD player anymore. I'm sure I have one in the stack. Like, I'm sure I have one in the stack of shit somewhere in the garage. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't have a DVD. I have my PlayStation.
PlayStation works, yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, I don't have a DVD player.
I do have my 360.
There you
You know
go.
the
I have a DVD
No,
player right
they don't
I've
work.
ever seen.
Bullshit. 360 rules.
I don't think my 360 works anymore.
I have two. Do you want one? Legit.
It'll just collect dust.
So I needed a new controller, and you can't buy controllers anymore. So I bought a whole system online for $50. So I have it came with 6 controllers. I needed
Jesus.
fucking one. So
they
it was
couldn't give it away. They were
it
like,
was still
Yeah.
cheaper than buying one controller.
"I bet."
Like, so I bought. If you want a 360, please come get the one sitting in my living room.
I wish I had time. I need to make time for my PS4.
It does take a lot of time for games, man.
The only thing I play on it is you can hook your guitar up to it and play Rocksmith. Rocksmith teaches you how to play guitar.
It's not the Guitar Hero.
No, it's
Okay.
like my
Yeah, it's the
actual
guitar
guitar.
for the real guitar.
It's like,
Yeah, so like it's
I didn't know that existed.
it teaches you an actual skill. But I bypass all the learning bullshit on there and just build an amplifier.
yeah,
I didn't say it wasn't. Just like a real life applicable skill. There we go. Other than rock band competition.
Dude, I
Leave
have
you
a
guys
rock
out.
band kit in my basement.
I got about 4 seconds into playing rock band. I was like, this is dumb. They're not even playing the right fucking notes.
Okay.
Like,
That's what the experts for, or at least for the drums. The drum charts are pretty accurate.
A lot of people
Dude.
told me the drums are pretty accurate.
Gay.
And hard.
I wanted to play the real song, and the notes weren't matching what I thought I was supposed to be playing.
No, for the guitar,
Smoke on the wall.
Yeah, it was dumb.
It's good. For
Dumb. But I'm not a good musician either, so it was a lot of complications. That's all I'm gonna say.
mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. But yeah, so I basically used the 360 as an amplifier
Mhm.
to be able to play guitar in my living room.
And
I do
now a
with my
DVD
computer.
player.
Yeah, because I didn't even
think of all
I didn't
those-
even remember that was possible.
You just plug a DVD in and it works.
Thanks, Kyle.
I'm like thinking about
The last explanation.
Oh, how would you not do it?
think of all the
You know,
hundreds of DVDs that I own right now, still that I've never like got rid of, that are like on the entertainment. So hundreds of them that I have not put in the DVD player in 5 years.
Yeah, I sold my
Her
DVD
mom-
collection years
Her
ago.
mom
I remember
has
when you did
a
that.
mental problem. And like we moved them from California to Ohio last year.
Yeah,
And I paid to like get an 18-wheeler and all to move all the
Yeah.
stuff. And as we're unloading stuff here in March last year, but it's like snowing up about
Mhm.
Gilly, and it's blast. It
Mhm.
wasn't like 5 degrees with like
Yep.
40-mile-an-hour winds. I'm like, what are these boxes? You know, like I'm moving boxes for a minute. And I'm like picking 2 or 3 up at a time. I'm a strong guy, and I'm like, these are heavy. Like, what did she pack in these plates? Like, it's got to be like ancient silverware passed down through
Yeah.
the bloodline.
the good stuff.
Incorrect.
Down through.
No.
I opened one up, and it's full of DVDs of like Natural Treasure 2 and like
The
Aladdin 4, and I'm like,
$5 bin movie.
it's like,
Yeah, right.
well, hold on, I paid.
You watched it.
Country so I could open it, and it has dust on it. And then she set up all of her DVD racks and flooded it, and you look at it, and I'm like, this is the Raving Lunatic.
I feel
So-
like lunatic that they're still in my house.
You know what I
She
did?
also has them. Like, do you really put those in?
I have
Do
not.
you really put those
It's been a long.
I
time
bought
thinking
one
about
of the old school 6-panel CD jumbo
it.
things and broke them all down to one of those. So it's just like this giant.
And then handed it to the daughter like, these are yours now.
Nah, bro, it's in my room.
Okay.
It's next to
These are
my-
mine still.
It's next to my Pogs and Pokemon cards.
Pogs.
No, it was just a joke, fun. Now you put me
I
on the
was
spot.
sorry.
For the record, he looked away and was like, "Yeah, I still got my phone."
Yeah,
I might have a few somewhere in
You
like
think
the
you
old,
have all
like the old
4,722 of them?
Right.
What?
And some of them are names.
36 slammers.
Only 36. Slacker.
That's real boys.
The brass ones are in a different category.
I traded mine in for scrap and crack. What are you talking about? Wait, that's brass? That's 6 cents up.
Yeah.
You can go to the store and get you a new Red Bull.
No,
Red
no.
Bull.
It's just straight to crack, Brian.
Yeah.
Nah. Skip the juice.
Have
Straight to the rack.
hell of an
bud.
evening.
Thanks, quitter.
I mean, what's the joke? Never let a crackhead out hustle you. Every morning they wake up broke and need crack. And for some reason, get high every day.
Right.
So if you can't have that same like, what do I need to make money today? How do I make money? What do I do?
Actually,
You're
I
not.
like that.
You're not really
I can make
hustling.
that in one of those motivational things. It's like the chess ones or the lion, like by $100 bill. No.
Yeah.
Read like and you'll really read it.
We're
Like, oh,
doing
that's right. Like that
It's not
crackhead
wrong.
needed $84 more and they found it. So like,
Yeah.
You put the picture of Chris Rock with the.
he found it every day.
Just saying. I'm just
I mean,
saying.
they'll use their bare fingers like animals, rip through my drywall and pull out a wire. But it's like, I'll be honest, I've tried. I don't have the finger strength. I don't know how to do it.
It's hard.
They'll rip that wire out and then peel the wire and then take it in a coil and get $4.
Right.
And I can't even get through the drywall in the first place. So I don't hustle.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, it's
You know what? I'm
tough.
embarrassed.
It's hard work. But when you're struck, okay. I mean, what else? Do you go?
Yeah, shoot through that drywall.
You chew through that shit.
See, I didn't know what you're talking about, the wire getting the copper out of it. When I was in Hawaii, one of the times I had a buddy that was stationed out there and we were driving around, he'd shown me the island and we kept finding, or I kept seeing like piles of the wire scraps.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
weird.
dude, what the fuck?
Kind of was like a banana peel.
Yeah, and I'm like, why the
So
fuck is this
obvious.
everywhere? And he was like, what do you mean, Brian? I was like, why is this everywhere? Like, why do I keep seeing piles of this? He was like, the locals are getting the copper out of it. I'm like, for what? And they're like, to sell it. I'm like, well, where do they get it? And he was basically like, anywhere they can. I was like, well,
Behind that photo, there's a hole in the wall.
yeah.
Huh? It was a big deal at the plumbing company. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, dude, because my dad was a plumber by trade before he was like a like a plumbing
Structure
instructor.
companies. all
And
that.
we would leave out stuff at the curb for the trash and it wouldn't last very long without
yeah.
somebody driving by being like,
Oh,
fucking mine.
we got rid of 18 sets of appliances that I'll be honest, like I served some years in Afghanistan and I've done some things with some terrorists. I don't know if I'd make the meat out of these fridges. They were that gross.
Oh, yeah.
People were living in these things. Like you open it and the like maggots. Like, we have a video of full-grown inch maggots in a fridge, and someone was living in that unit. So I told them, like, did they open it every day and ignore the maggots? Or was there like an agreement with the maggots? You get the top of the fridge, we take the bottom. But anyways, we put all 18 sets out to the street.
They were gone
The next day,
Mm-mm.
it took me and 6 men to move these things. And the next day I was like, what kind of Super Saiyan crackhead showed up and was like, you know what, I'm taking all 18.
Yeah, right. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Fridges full of rotten food, 18 stoves full of rotten food. They were all gone.
We had duct
It
taped
was
some of the
incredible.
clothes. They were so bad.
Oh yeah. I'll be honest, I threw a couple down the stairs. Like when liquid started coming out, I was like, no, and I just pushed it. When I pushed the hole in the drywall, that is not spilling on me.
no,
And they were gone the next
drywall
day.
cheap.
Yeah. Right.
In comparison to my drywall's cheap.
Yeah, it was wow.
Nope.
No, my house, I have like a giant house and I've been contemplating like the last few months of buying a smaller house and living in it and kind of renting, but I don't think I have it in me, man. I don't think I could be a landlord on that, even just that little level of like trusting, because it's like my childhood home that I own.
Yeah, but hear me out, right? I found out my next door neighbor, who has the same floor plan minus the addition of my house,
Mhm.
is charging $2,200 a month to live in the house. I know that my mortgage is a fraction of that.
Mhm.
And so, like,
They pay for your
what?
other-
I'll just, huh? So, like, right, you get first and last. It's enough to cover repairs.
Yeah.
I wanted to update anyway.
My house
I'll
is
let them fucking up for a year or two.
my house is like
Come back, renovate. Now your shit's
Yeah.
flush.
It's like
This is actually 100 unit that we own that we haven't started on.
Did
But
you say 100 in it?
yeah,
Jesus
Jesus, swipe
fucking
through the
Christ.
photos. You can
Nice.
see like all the drywall. They ripped that all open
Oh.
to get to the plumbing.
I
But
would-
that's-
yeah.
Of course, they stole the coppers first.
Oh, dude,
But
coppers.
then they were like, the old waistlines, those are galvanized steel. And I didn't know this, but what
Uh-huh.
people will do is they'll break out the galvanized steel and the joints inside of the glue has copper.
Mhm.
I didn't
So
know
then
that,
they'll melt
old-
them down,
right?
and then they'll take the whatever's left. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's like tar and spool.
They take like
Yeah.
whatever's left from melting down the seams, and then they'll go sell that. Because I asked our plumber, I was like, why are they still in our old waste lines?
I didn't know
Those
that.
galvanized steel pipes, right?
Parties.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, oh, they melt them down. I'm like, for what? There's like there's coppers in the joints. I was like, again, I don't hustle like that, crackhead man. I don't have
Yeah.
a melter and like I imagine
dude.
lava to. Where's the get the lava to melt these pipes? Like,
Shit. In my basement, my dad has like, there's 5-gallon buckets of just full of copper fittings. Like, I don't, no, hopefully no crackhead to listen to this podcast.
Right.
You call my dad's copper piping out of the basement that's in buckets, ready to go.
It
But-
was worth it there for a while. We cleaned out one of the vans of somebody that had quit and got $400-500 just out of scrap.
Yeah, but back to like my house, like it's a big house and it's not, you can put paint, put carpet, replace the floor, but it's like, it's an old house, like historic house, like 12-foot ceilings and wood, like
Since
beautiful
you're-
woodwork. I just don't want like,
Vet your renters because you're a one person renting
that-
one property,
isn't
not
that,
a
it's
giant.
not discriminate, like I wouldn't get.
It's you get to choose, right? Like you can
You
kind of
like say,
you
fuck
can
no, you're
kind of be
putting
like, hey, I don't like your vibe. You can fuck off.
so
I
Because
want the house,
as a
like, I don't
business,
want
you
to sell
can
it.
refuse-
It's
I
like,
could give you access to one of our systems that like if anybody applies for us, we pull their credit, we run a background on them, like criminal, we run
Yeah.
everything. Like, I mean, I literally pull your credit and I look at what you have bills for, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? No, you don't get the rest from
see that, because I mean, this is when Durb
Smart.
moved downtown. Durb moved
Right.
downtown when they had the old Red Tree. I don't know if it was like to be closer to the shop or just be downtown.
Yeah, be downtown.
But he rented out his place knowing full well, like, I'm fucking going back there. He's there now, but it's like, I'm going back there eventually. Got a company to
Is
rent
it
it out.
company,
And the only thing he really had to do was carpet walls. He made them smoke in the garage.
Yeah, we
Like,
also
Yeah,
can
but
I
you
tell
gotta
them
remember,
like you
you're
can't
gonna
smoke in my
do that shit
house?
This is
You
post.
gotta do that shit anyway.
Yeah.
This is post the haunted house, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Haunted house was when I was like 22. 22. 98 Brickle, right the shore north.
Yeah, I don't know about the haunted house.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but then you got to live
that was
somewhere
Way.
I wouldn't know.
in the process, and then if you're not buying another place to live in,
Oh, I would, as soon as.
you're in the same renter market that's fucked
Yeah,
right
right.
now.
Oh, I would
So-
100% buy another place, a smaller, much smaller place. Like,
Dude, you want to get a place in like Hebron?
no, I mean, I would, I
Man,
don't, well, I don't know
I'll
about
room you.
Hebron, but.
I'll really with you.
I'll go halvesies on a house in Hocking Hills.
You want to get a cabin somewhere?
Let's go.
I mean,
Hocking
that
Hills,
would-
build a cabin.
That would be the idea
Getaway.
is,
Talk about that today.
What about Hocking?
Well,
Dude,
where's that
Hocking's
land that Mark and I were talking about? Outside of Mount Vernon, we were looking at some acreage to build cabins like.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Because from where the highway is, it's only like 28 minutes.
If you
from
need a
here,
guy to
so-
change light bulbs, I'll
And
hang
like,
out.
we could divide them out to like 4, 5, 6 acres, put them on a well, put them on septic,
Yeah.
like build,
Actually,
Love it.
like nice badass shit in the woods, and like people would eat that up.
oh,
They
fuck
do.
yeah, they would.
They do.
fuck yeah. they would.
I've got a buddy, his name's Jeff as well, who sells rural cabin acreage properties and stuff like that. I'll give you his contact information.
no,
I
that'd
want
be
to
awesome.
before I go. But
Hockey's where it's at.
I
so,
see
yeah,
these
like,
properties that are 110, but it's just it's rough plumbing cabin,
Right,
nothing else, but for the property.
right,
And I'm like, man, why am I poor? This is stupid.
yeah.
So I'd buy it just to go hiking, right? Just have a place to like this place had caves and outcroppings.
Yeah, you
and,
can
like,
buy all
this
kinds
cool
of
ass
yeah,
shit.
caves on the property.
I'm in. But
Right. Well, even then, you could buy one of those and like build some kind of badass like
Mhm.
shipping container tiny home on it,
Fuck yeah,
and
they
then
would.
just rent that out Airbnb and buy another lot of land and do it again.
Yeah,
and
you're
again
right.
to the
Keep
point where you
everything.
have like 10 to 15.
so how much money do you want to loan me?
And then we're down your alley, you're like, "Keep safe."
Like, I'm in.
That's me.
But it's one of those things like without money, you can't get into that kind of shit. And I go into the bank and they're like, you're not a piece of shit, but we've got nothing we can take.
Right.
So like
Right.
you can have this amount of money and that's not enough to do anything with.
Right.
I've tried that.
So I got a question I've been kind of mulling over for a minute.
Yes, we can
guys-
buy a campsite. Oh,
You guys deal with like a ton of different people from a ton of different walks of life. So you must see like as your tattoo collections are growing and you guys are like becoming more tattooed people. Tell me how you use tattoos to read your tenants.
That's
Potential
all fucking set up right there. I don't know if you guys can zoom in. Brad, his cheeks just
Quality of the tattoos and how
to hear their opinions on the topic, period.
Who can say this delicately? Because I'm
So there you were.
if you can tell it was done at the kitchen table,
Typically.
does it
So-
sway your decision?
So that's what's,
Are they prison tattoos or are they professional?
in my humble opinion, I have the best tattoo I've ever seen in my life.
Well, thank you.
Like, hey, I mean, obviously it's on my body and there's a little bit of a bias there.
Maybe a
but-
bit biased.
But
It is gorgeous. Not
you know,
gorgeous.
like just the layout, like I pay attention to stuff like that. And I'm not saying
Same.
like Jen's tattoo's a bunch of different things all together. And it's beautiful. She's the most beautiful woman in the world, you know? So I do pay attention to like, hey, was this just my buddy gave me one on the table, and then I went to this
Yeah,
guy
so
outside
did
of
you
the
really
fucking
break
military.
time
Right,
into
right, right.
getting your
And
It's a repeated pattern.
Yeah.
You can have one shitty tattoo, but if you have 13,
Then-
we're gonna talk different about it.
Exactly. But then
You
when
know?
I mean, I'm looking at a tenant that has a like fucked up tattoo on her arm and a fucked up tattoo on her like
Mhm.
overweight thigh that I can see because her clothes don't fit. And then she has a fucked up face tattoo. I'm like, okay, you're gonna get a face tattoo? Get a good one.
Mhm.
Get a good one, please.
Well, it's a repeated decision thing. So like you've shown that you have a problem making good decisions and you haven't changed any of your life patterns.
So no, you can't.
If you've got one shitty tattoo and they get progressively better, I'm here for you, fam. Good job.
Well, not no. Some people came from some. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, you guys came from nothing. So like, Jen's very first tattoo that we got when she was 18, like we had no money. She
Right.
got it outside of where I was stationed by the military. And not that people stationed outside there get bad tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's where I've been told by tattoo artists, guys go to train to get better.
Because
They
there's a
get
lot of
so many.
tattoos.
Yeah.
And that's what's
I tattooed military when I was younger,
Like,
and I
Durb
really
told me that.
cut my
He's like,
teeth.
That's
Yeah.
where I really learned how to do it. So like, you may get the guy that's on his 7th tattoo that, you know.
I didn't know everything when I was, yeah.
But now I look at her tattoos, I'm like, correct, you know, but to your point, if my whole body was that, it's like,
Yep.
okay, you got a problem. Like,
So there's a line. It's a decision making
Yeah, you
process.
continually make bad decisions.
Yep. I see nothing's changed in your
With
life.
your
It's been
whole
shit
body.
for a long time.
I just tell people,
Yeah. Oh, your incense sticking out of the wall?
tired.
I've always looked at the quality of tattoo that people wear is how much you're part of yourself, your body.
100%.
What are you gonna wear forever, you know?
So that's unfortunately my opinion, Fawn, is like, if I see really, really bad tattoos on people and they're coming to walk properties with us, I instantly am like, yeah, I don't want you to win.
So you start making the snap judgment, not
I
based
actually-
on that they have tattoos,
I-
but based on what their
absolutely.
tattoos
I have
are
a
shouting about
confirmation
them.
biased about bad tattoos, because we've actually read it from a couple people and. All right, so obviously this podcast, everybody knows we're in Ohio, like in West State. It's not the greatest place,
Mhm.
right? But I've had a couple people that we've rented to that had very nice tattoos. Like there was this young African American girl that had a sleeve that was incredible. And she was renting on a property that we legitimately found. I can show you guys the photos, a fistful of heroin in one of the units when we bought it.
Mhm.
The guy, like, there was all these court things on his door being like, hey, you're bench warrant, bench warrant, bench
Right.
warrant. We had to drill his locks so we get in there. And on the counter, it just in like where my AirPods are, is a fistful of heroin. Like it's that environment. And she's upstairs and her unit's not very clean, but her tattoo was incredible.
Mhm.
And she was actually really sweet. She was a nurse, like,
Mhm.
you know, and then I found out, I got the story. Like, I was like, this place is gross and you're a nurse. I don't understand. She's like, well, my dad lived in here until he died, and I've been trying to get stuff out, but I'm a nurse. And I'm like, okay, now this is a different story. But you
Right.
got this amazing tattoo, and you're a nurse and you're in scrubs.
Yep.
And I mean, it was full of roaches. I'm like, and
The
then she's like,
tattoo gave you a minute to reassess
To
who
be
she
like-
was.
like, not to lose it on. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
look at these roaches, you're disgusting. And instead she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, my dad died like 6 months ago. This is his place. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, hey, my guys are moving people out. I would rather not evict you or your dad because your dad's dead. We had trailers. I was like, dump trailers. Like, anything you want, put it outside. My guys will take it where you want to go. Anything you leave in here past Friday, can we throw in the trash? And she's like, yeah, done. Easiest situation ever.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Exactly.
You know how much headache that just saved you?
Yeah.
You know how many months you just shaved off of fucking flipping that?
Didn't have to evict her, didn't have
Yep.
to get her stuff
Yep.
out of there. I helped her move her stuff. But to your point, like she had a really cool sleeve. So I definitely looked at it first and was like, let's have a conversation because stuff wasn't lining up. But then again, we met another girl that had a face tattoo that was a bad face tattoo. And she was already kind of
Yeah.
giving the attitude. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is not, we're not gonna
Not-
jive.
yeah.
I
And I
don't
was like,
know.
Fawn can back this up. I let you read some text today on my phone from these tenants, and some of them are insane.
Yeah.
And everybody here that knows me actually knows, like,
I know you deal with crazy motherfuckers.
but I'm also like a gentle giant. Like I'm a really respectful and nice guy. So to get me to be like, these people are fucking insane, like
Right,
take some work.
right.
Like
Right.
your text message is gonna start with some crazy.
I always think about that too, because I'm getting ready to start another sales job where I have to go into people's houses. And it's one of those things like I haven't had to do like direct sales like that for a while.
Yeah.
And it's definitely been before my hands were tattooed. I looked at my soon to be new boss and I was like, "You're sure? Like,
Okay.
like, I want you to know that I have tattoos on my head and you are willing to send me to people's homes. Like, I'm 100% okay with this. And I know I can handle myself professionally, but you have to make these decisions fully aware that you're like, oh, I know he had tattoos, but I didn't know he had those. He's tattooed.
I feel like
So I was waiting for that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and now I'm still kind of nervous about it, to be real.
I feel like the stigma is slowly starting to change though, where it's being way more accepted in public. You having hand tattoos and like like every time that we would travel, like I'd be with Durb and Tony and we'd get like on planes, I always like would go, not judging or making judgment on people, but I would follow them and I would see the older generation just looking at Durb and Tony walk by, just like judging the dog shit out of them. And it's like, that fucking throat tattoo he's wearing is worth, more than your car, bitch.
Yep.
Like you can't be like that.
But most people don't realize that.
But it's like,
Like they really, really don't.
yeah. But
Because they
I think
think they
it's-
got him in jail.
yeah. But I think it's slowly changing, which is good. I mean,
There's still a weird stigma about it, though. You're right, and especially when you're coming into somebody else's bubble. It's one thing if you have to interact out with somebody in public, but now you're inviting me into your home.
Mhm.
That's where your real bias comes out,
Right.
because that's your sanctuary, that's your protected zone, that's where you don't let shit go down. You know what I mean? So like now, so be like, hi, open your door to me.
Yeah.
Let me into your private zones. So
I ain't
we'll,
worried about
we'll
people
see.
like that.
I've got enough personality to carry it, but until you get that persnickety 1%, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So what you said
I'm
earlier,
excited.
Colin, when you were talking about like, judging people by the tattoos, when people ask me, I just tell them you pay for what you get. Like, I mean, tattoo wise,
Mhm.
like good tattoos aren't cheap.
Cheap tattoos aren't good.
There's
It's-
nothing
it-
more
I mean,
true. in
it's
it.
cheesy,
it's-
but it ain't wrong.
Yeah,
It's-
that's what I tell them. They're like, oh, is
That's
there?
Who
No,
taught you
see?
Octagon?
Right? But it's crazy that I mean, that's what I tell people. And I mean, it is true. It is true.
What I think is odd is, so I was in the infantry for 11 years, and a bunch of my buddies called me white bread because I was the only guy without a tattoo. I had guys, like buddies I served with, that had full sleeves. And in 2004 through 2006, there was a surge in Afghanistan. So DOD laxed their policies on tattoos because they were like, hey, we need to send 100,000 people overseas.
Yep.
So you know what?
We
You're
don't
in.
care now.
Okay.
Yeah, hey,
Right.
tattoos are all of a sudden
I had
cool.
an officer that had a gold tooth and a tattoo on his neck. And I was like, when did you join? And he was like, 2006. I was like, same as me, man. There's no rules.
Yeah, there is.
But now, so what was weird is watching the transition of I joined in 2006 and there was no rules. You could have, like, guys had their ears gauged, which now you have to have surgery before you
Yep.
go in and seal it
Yep.
again. But in 2006, if it was less, they had a little measuring thing.
Mhm.
And if the thing was smaller than like, whatever, 1/16, like, then they were like, you know what, fine, come on in, dog, we don't care. But now it can't be lights, and they'll hold a flashlight behind their ear to see if light comes through. So again, watching that, the tattoos, that extreme, to going through my first deployment in Afghanistan, where we were like meat in a grinder, and there's literally more bloodshed in Afghanistan in 2008 and 9 than in any other year of the entire war on terror.
Mhm.
Then things got better. And then I watched in 2009 and 10 from that deployment where we came back, and anybody that had a tattoo below their elbow had to get counseled, which meant like you would go in right now because you have all your other tattoos,
Mhm.
and our commander would write you up with a 2062 and say, hey, you can't get any more tattoos without permission. And if you get anything below your elbows, you're kicked out.
Government
We're
property.
acknowledging you have these tattoos and we're going to take photos. And if you add anything to it, we're going to kick you out. And guys like Durb, they go, okay, we're going to allow all this. But again, if you get like anything else, even recolor, you're out. So it's like,
Government.
I don't think it's good enough for you to go get shot
Yeah.
and go to Afghanistan and have to kill people or like defend our country.
But now,
like again, I would Sergeant First Class 2-time Purple Heart decorated Minot would not be allowed to join the military because of the tattoos I have. And I'm airborne and air assault and all these other cool guy schools, but now I'm not good enough.
All right.
Because after I got out of the military, I got a half body suit.
Yeah.
That to me is what's insane. This doesn't define how I fight
until
or do my job.
Tattoos are
Until
only
that's
in any
different.
military.
until shit hits the fan,
Again.
and they go, oh, wait, anybody with training, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to all those schools? You got full body suit? Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Can we get you a gold tooth before you come in?
We'll give you. You know what tattoo?
Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah.
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 That's a real
I had a
fucked
buddy
up
that got kicked
position.
out because he had started to sleep
Mm-hmm.
and it was like sentimental to him, and he was going home to get it done. And then they changed the rules, counseled him and said, "Hey, you can't finish this." And of course, he was like, "Yeah, no, fuck you! I killed
Fuck,
people.
I can't.
I went to Afghanistan and defended my country and Iraq. You're not gonna like." So then he kept getting it done, and then they started chaptering around the military.
That's wild.
Jesus.
And it's like, yeah, that's
That's what's
what
important.
drives me.
That's what's important here. Yeah,
It
guys.
was run 2 miles in 11 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
But did you get a tattoo on your
Yeah.
arm?
Piece of shit.
Yeah,
Piece of shit.
You got me. You nailed it. A piece of shit.
Piece
Mm,
of shit you are.
that's a hard pill to swallow.
Mhm.
I had friends that just got kicked out after 18 years. You can retire at 20 medical for
20
life,
years.
retirement for life.
Fully
And at
set.
18 years just got kicked out, like recently in the last 6 months, because they didn't get the COVID vaccine. And the government was like, "Hey, you don't have a choice. You're getting it or we're kicking you out." And they're like, "I've been in for 18 years. I don't want to get it. I'm about to get out. Just let me retire and get
Yeah.
out." And they're like, "Get it or get kicked out."
Oh
And they,
my
of course, were
God.
like, "No, I'm not getting it." And then they kicked them out.
Fucking wild.
Jesus
It's like-
Christ.
And now, I don't know if you just saw, but in
Dude.
New York, at least, they overturned it and said, "Hey, that was illegal for employers to say you had to get the
Yeah, it
vaccine."
was.
So anybody that was laid off during that time, the courts rule gets all their back pay. So if you were laid off in like August of 2020 because you were a nurse and you refused to get it, and then now they just won the lawsuit in 2020, the end of 2021,
Mhm.
any of those nurses, anybody that got laid off, the state is making the employers pay them all their back pay.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
It's millions and millions and millions
Is
of
that
dollars.
applicable towards
So
federal?
it's so far it's only had in that one state,
Yeah.
but that's where now there's this victim advocacy groups for the military that are going, "Hey, what happens to that guy? They got or girl, they got kicked out.
Yeah,
of
you lost your
8 years
job. 'cause
and
you didn't get
lost your
vaccinated.
entire retirement because of a vaccine."
Yeah.
And now we're saying it was okay. So like, do we just let them take the retirement in 18 years? Do we give them the option to come back in? But like guys like me, like if they called me right now and said, "Hey, we let you back in," I would be like, "Go pound sand."
Yeah,
Like this, the disrespect was enough. We're like, out of pride, I don't want the money.
Yeah.
And
right.
I know that's a bad decision, but like I've done stuff for this country that
Oh, yeah.
people can't even imagine.
Oh, I know.
I wasn't there when my son was born. Like I got shot. Like, but you kicked me out over a tattoo or a vaccine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, fuck off.
yeah, I don't want your money.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know what they're gonna do because I was just talking to one of them. He's like, "I don't know, man."
If would
I'm
they give
dumb
you the
not to
money
go
with
back
the
in.
option of not coming back in?
So
If you give
there
it to me at 18 and out, sure.
exactly.
But if I've got to come finish his last 2 years, I thought I was unfit for duty.
Thank you. I wasn't good enough.
Right.
But now I'm good enough again. Like, so all that goes back to these tattoos. People like the government, like regular people, like even myself, we judge people based off of what we see. And to answer your question with a very long answer, when I see people coming into my buildings with shitty tattoos now, I'm like, nah, get out of here. Yeah. Shoot.
As a mentality.
That's
so-
actually
Can I
like
just be like a
that's a good point I like to
secret
make.
judger?
Right?
Can you just snap a few pics, text them to me?
Oh, we've seen some bad ones. I'll get some.
I'll sign a non-compete or whatever. Just there doesn't need to be any money exchanged, but like whatever it takes to keep the hush, you know.
Yeah.
Like I got you. I'll help you judge people.
Oh yeah.
Hard.
I'll get some. There.
Hard. You want to know what I'm real good at?
Yeah, we can make a whiteboard with those things.
Life's good.
Oh,
Judgy.
oh, that's-
You pointing at my pink out or just this lusciousness in my face?
Both.
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 Oh, hey,
I suppose. Let me put some more in it though.
Appreciate you.
Running on the dregs here.
it's kind of cool. I hadn't seen
I'll give
my
you a little piece.
oh, you might like this. I hadn't seen my grandparents, my biological grandparents in years. And my grandpa had not been on a plane since 1992.
Oh wow.
We moved out here and some stuff happened and we moved out here. So they're like, "Hey, we want to come see you." So then they flew all the way from California here. Again, my grandpa's the kind of guy that like showed up to the airport with money, like cash to buy a ticket. That's not how it works.
Hell yeah. I like that.
I-
That's-
Yes, not
a train
bought the
station
ticket,
anymore.
texted to him and he's like, "How do I get the ticket?" I'm like, "I texted to you." And they're like, "Well, like the files are in the computer."
Yeah.
No, the files are
I
not.
love it. I fucking love it.
And they printed
That's tight.
on their printer and brought it like that. You know what I'm
That's
talking
tight.
about.
Oh
right?
yeah.
still
old
print directions.
mentality.
Yeah,
That's
you-
tight.
I would have paid to see their interaction with security, because again, they're in their 80s. and
Yeah,
like,
Want to touch my watch?
yeah, they were like you, like, "Oh yeah, I had a knife on me, whatever." Like, "Was that weed? Did I put that weed on my bag with my carry-on?" Like,
They don't care about
Yeah,
weed
They can't even
anymore.
print their
As long as
tickets.
you don't have weed and weapons, you're generally pretty good. Mix the two, they get salty.
oh, that's good.
As long as your shit doesn't stink. That's key. If it's sealed, then go fuck. You've got just like open bags, they care.
And you going down, son.
Kyle, you can have this, but I'm not standing.
So they get out here, and again, I hadn't seen her. She hadn't seen me since I got Angel's tattoo.
Yeah.
And
My
so
baby.
yeah, I'm her baby Brian, and I came out the next morning because they stayed the night, or they stayed with us. We had an extra room, and they was like, her and Jen were having coffee, and I like walked out. I sleep, just in a pair of shorts, and I came out with no shirt on, upper everything done, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And like I turned around for 1 second. Of course, this is my grandma. I'm just like, "How's this going down?" And she was like, "This is so beautiful," and she got up and like touched it, and it was actually really cool because again, like. I mean, when I got it, other people in my family were like, that's gonna be on you for the rest of your life. And of course, these are coming from people that are like not in great shape. They don't take care of themselves. And I'm like, you know what?
So is that stretch mark?
Yeah.
Kyle?
It would be all right. Like, this actually helps me stay in shape because I want to get my money out of
Don't
it.
get out of good with it.
But it was really cool. My grandma thought it was really cool. My grandpa's an old trucker and an old mechanic. So of course he's like awesome. But my grandma seeing me like, I was definitely like, oh shit, I'm
Here we
about to
go.
get somebody.
Right.
Skank me.
Yeah, I'm no longer baby Brian.
My parents saw my tattoo. Like I got a giant geisha on my ribs. It's like my third tattoo. Like literally armpit to hip. And I was wrestling with my brother in the backyard. We were 20s. You know what I mean? Like he's older than me. I was drowning him with a hose. So I had him in head and arm, and I was like putting the hose in his face. And he pulled my shirt up over my head, like hockey style. And I heard my mom gasp from 15 feet away. And I thought, he'll be fine, Mom. We're just playing.
Nobody's
She goes, "Oh, you've ruined your skin." I'll never forget her saying that. You've ruined your skin. And I was just like, oh, wasn't trying to hide it. Just didn't really. It was awkward.
Yeah.
It was awkward.
Did she ever become okay with it and like all of it now, or is she still like secretly? Because my mom's one of those that like she'd say she's okay with it, but secretly she's over there like shaking her head.
Oh
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah. She smites
like
me out.
doing that little thing.
Oh yeah.
So is she good with it now, or is she secretly like?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I stopped caring.
man.
They can think what they want. I'm still me. It is funny now to watch like that the collection has grown to what it is, and they just kind of don't even ask if I've got new ones or
Did that one
can't
grow?
tell
it's never really been a
That's why I gotta get those
conversation.
boobs on this fish, so that they're like, "Did you put boobs on a fish?"
Did
I'm
you
like,
put
"Are you inappropriate?" Like,
Yeah.
Who's the
boobs?
Yeah.
Who's the perv?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, what do you
Yeah,
think?
see what you're thinking about, like.
What
Sure, make sure that nipple on the fish.
Yes, sir.
You-
Sir.
the barbell that motherfucker.
Awesome.
Fish boobs. Can we open a sandwich shack called Fish Boobs?
I do there.
Is it next to the crate shop too?
Yeah, Holy Crate.
Better buy the domain first.
Holy Crate is actually purchasable already. But
And you haven't got it
He's
yet?
like, I've already checked.
do you know how much I care, Kyle? Zero. Do you know when I'm?
Is it $20 or less?
No. Yeah.
That's a word crate. It's probably a lot more.
Yeah. Like I talk a lot of like I would like to do these things, but my drive is like.
Like, I'm not opening up a sandwich shop for real.
I mean, it's cool to
a lot of
dream,
work.
but I just know I just understand reality. People don't lend me money. I've juggled this game before. The banks go, "You want what? For what?
What?
Sandwich shop?
For
Holy crap! Serious?
Oh, I'm sorry, fish boobs? What are you doing again? You're selling
Yeah.
sandwiches? How?
it's kind of like go to."
Are you a fish sandwich?
Yeah.
But again, like every once in a while, I dare to dream. I don't know if you guys just saw, but in Seattle, they have all those, in Portland, they have those bikini baristas in like Tacoma and Washington and stuff.
Mhm.
And there's been this lawsuit going on for apparently like 15 years, trying to say that was illegal, right? That like these women can't be basically naked. Because what they'll do is they'll get a shipping container, these companies will. They'll drive up plexiglass, but bulletproof glass. So then when we all drive up, you see like a girl basically in just her lingerie making coffee. So this lawsuit's been going on for 15 years, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they just ruled.
Where can I get this coffee?
It's constitutional. You can't make them be dressed when they sell you coffee.
Oh, wow.
My
Some
only-
guy hacked it 20 years ago.
Right.
He took some time to get some money together. Started with one because it's two franchises that got sued, and now they have like 20 locations throughout Oregon and Washington.
Right.
And then 5 years into business, this very religious group started suing their pants off. 15 years later, they finally just won, and they said, "Hey, You can't, they're good, they can sit, let them,
As long as
let
it
him out.
I just
follows health code.
Yeah, as long as it follows health code, and then the passengers can't be able to get to, so like the doors have to be on double lock and stuff, so that like.
We'll
there's
put 3
no, like
locks.
prostitution.
Yeah.
But yeah, 15-year lawsuits over something, again, we all know that was a dude that was like, you know what? Hey, babe, we'll sell coffee here anywhere, I bet you make $100 a day.
Yeah.
And then it took.
coffee shack is dead. You know what we should do?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, you got some friends, right? Oh, now we're making like $5,000 a day,
Yeah.
and then. So all it takes is one idea.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Bring them to a
I'm just
high.
worried about their safety. You ever made espresso? That shit is
Yeah.
there's a lot of spraying going on there. A lot of steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can watch them. Like we went to one and I was like, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, they're in.
And then I was watching them and they stand so far back.
Yeah.
You know, they're like,
Yeah.
no, I do not need my.
You ever made
titties
breakfast?
burned off.
Yeah. You ever made breakfast without a shirt on? Get a little bacon sizzle?
Yeah.
Right, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Mine's not all day, every day.
No, you're right.
No thanks.
If I was like, here's $1,000 for 3 hours.
Bitch,
I'd
I would
be like,
shake my titties right.
you'd be like 3
What,
hours.
be
$1,000.
showering
You know
in
what? Give me that bacon grease. Let's pour that on my head.
Yeah, it's a freak show.
Paying rent today.
And honestly, it's definitely
Yeah.
geared more towards the guys because I worked at a coffee shop literally right outside the gates of the army base. And they were like, you can wear whatever you want, just know like a bunch of guys come in. So whatever you're wearing, like you have to feel comfortable. They're a bunch of army dudes. And in the
Me
summer,
too.
we clean shots. Like
Yeah,
so much
Hundreds of dollars in tips every day. Her and this girl named Galilee. Galilee also had like full sleeves of all like she has every like Frankenstein and the ghost and the wolf and like
Yeah.
those
Horror
movies. She has them on both arms and like sharks, like really cool stuff. And her skin is like whiter than this napkin, like she's one of those.
That's me.
So like it between her and Jen, I would go in there and I would watch all of my buddies and everybody else from the base just like tipping $5, $10, $5. And I'd be like, no, you never stood a chance. Like
Yeah,
it's worse than a strip club.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, less interaction time. Like, and then what if you're drinking just gonna make you poop? So
You'll be awake.
and I'm like, hey,
But
babe, I'm
that's
drink today. She's like, oh, my son was on like 149. I'm like, no, it's more than I made jumping out of a plane today. What's up?
Yeah, right?
But that was what made me mad, like serving tables. You always had that one person that was like, yeah, I made like 175. And you're like, bullshit. And they're like,
Yeah.
here you go. Like, I've been in the same restaurant all night. I made 65 fucking dollars.
Yep.
The fuck? You're a dick.
Wear less
Oh,
clothes,
shit.
apparently.
Yeah.
Jenny got
Yeah.
legal.
You get your balls out, man.
I would if it paid, bro. Trust me. I heard dad bods are the new thing on fucking OnlyFans.
That's what I heard too.
Can somebody help
One of
me?
my buddies.
Let's do this.
manages girls.
Ben's like, I've been
Yeah, the
working
guy-
on this for
And
a
the guys
while.
making more money than the girls, but they're all making over 10 grand a month.
Can you set me up?
I can put you in
Sexy
contact
and
with them.
tattoo.
And
Dad
to be honest,
bods.
I
Ben, you
won't
gonna
say
do- you
much
gonna do an
about that
OnlyFans
because
thing?
it's real inappropriate, but like all I'll say is, I told Jen and I showed her the data, the number one requested thing for the dad bod guy to do that girls request, that's thousands and thousands
Ben's
and
paying attention.
thousands and thousands of dollars a month. I never would have guessed. If you gave me the 10 in a row, like, hey, pick 1 out of 10, this is the thing.
Washing dishes.
No, it's a sexual fantasy that you just wouldn't ever think, or I would never think.
Watch him sleep.
No, it's aggressive. I'll
That's
it's
Yeah.
like unwanted
So,
aggressive.
it's like
Oh,
talk
I'm saying,
show.
okay.
Think of like
Pushing
what
it.
are those shows?
Pushing
Like,
it.
the rapey stabby shows, like
SVU.
SUV. It's like that kind of shit. And they're like, yeah, can you
Horror movie
break
style.
into your own house with your girlfriend and then like I don't
Oh,
put
no,
a pillowcase
please
over your
don't.
head and film it and like do stuff and send that to me and I'll give you $900. And he's like,
Yep.
Yeah, right. He's out, man.
and
See,
he
that's
showed
the
me the
thing.
money, and I'm like, bro, you're making 10K a month doing shit. Like he's like, oh, dude, and he shows you the requests, and some of them are so
And-
elaborate. I'm like, like
I've always
that's
wanted
the
an
next
action
you
player.
buy and saw that you're going to jail. Like, you won't talk yourself out of that.
Bullshit. I'm coming full staff right to the front door.
Yeah.
Look at the neighbor in the eye. Be like, you want to watch the footage? Would you like to join? We pay X amount, sign the waiver.
Like, yeah,
You know, I turn that
Turn it
into
up business.
That's always ready with the waiver, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
CYA.
that's-
CYA.
got that waiver.
CYA.
Yeah.
But I'm hard in. Unintended.
Yeah, I could.
Yep.
I would have picked a bunch of other stuff because no, man, it's all about that rate. But I'm like, holy shit.
Wow.
There you go, Ben.
I'm more in for the money, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
if that's what it takes, cool. Especially if there's a willing participant that also knows what's happening.
Fully aware.
Sure.
Did they sign 2 disclosures?
Yes,
Like, 2
twice.
waivers? Yeah, I want
Twice.
2 signatures.
One for each company.
And I want one on video.
Say this out loud. Look me in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in. I'd sell my feet right now. I have one all manicured and pretty, leave the other one all shitty, so you get both groups.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
One on one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're right.
He's thought it out.
Yeah, that's smart.
I'm just saying. I'm
Diversifying
I
his portfolio.
just need some help. Someone point me in the right direction. Yeah. Can I start selling like piston bath water and stuff like that too?
Well, we know
Can't-
another girl that
can't.
sells sparks.
Yeah, parts in the jar.
Yeah, she has to like put a sealant on it, like a special with a packing tape, but
I,
Flammable.
I have known of people to sell used underwear. It's very easy to do
Oh, yeah.
and very
Durb's like, oh yeah, it is.
It's a reduced cost.
He's like a little bit. Thank you to stay out of my personal affairs.
So I mean, for every niche, there's a
yeah.
fill, I guess. However that saying goes. Someone's gonna pay for it. Just show me who's not filling which niche, so I can cash in. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's
I don't have to be into it. They have to be into it,
yeah, you're right.
right? Actor.
That's all I meant. We've done worse shit for money.
Yeah.
Everybody in here can look back and do something. They were like, man, I honestly would have.
Yeah.
I would have done some weird shit.
It's acting, bro. I'm already.
Sure. Have you ever done any tattoos where like
Tear
in the
across the
moment
face.
you're like, yeah, I'll do that. And then afterwards you're like, I really shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Whether it's like the client.
Yeah, just like tasteless tattoos.
Yeah, exactly. Not so
Mm.
much nowadays, but yeah, I've had my share.
He's like, yeah, right now I'm doing this guy with his fucking koi fish.
Yeah.
Stupid koi fish. Yeah.
Just make them fish eggs, so they're not, you know.
Fertilize my fishes.
Oh.
I think my favorite part of him getting so many koi fish and them being so big is people walking up to him and showing them their koi.
Oh, yeah.
It's your favorite.
They've seen how-
Do you just sit back with your phone and just
Yeah.
record?
Yeah.
It's like a whole new series. Koi versus koi.
Everybody ever seen The Simpsons,
New
right?
segment.
Yeah.
That yellow fish that had the 3 eyes that they're trying to eat. That's their koi fish next to like my koi fish. And Jen's like, that's so cool. And I'm like, you're such a bitch. Like,
You don't want to make them
Park
feel
six
bad. Yeah.
fish alone. Let him up in Springfield. Let him have his life. Like,
Yeah, I'm always like, yeah, we probably went to the same guy.
Yeah.
beautiful.
1994 was fucking sweet.
Why does your fish got that tribal band? Like, a tramp sample on your fish?
My favorite is you got to know my artists. It's like, bro, I know the 15 people I've known since I was 18.
Right.
Like, that's it. If you're not in like the people I talk to, I don't know you. I don't seek out other Columbus artists.
Right.
Like, I had a pretty quick coming to the top. I had no reason to look around. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I did get introduced to a very, very good crew very early. That all transferred to being Durb's crew. It was
And
natural.
like 2 tattoos ago, we talked about. It's like at this point,
Durb's family.
like
Yeah. I met that.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
get tattooed.
Oh, yeah.
anyways, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's literally done half of my body.
Yeah.
Like, so now unfortunately he's gonna do my balls and my legs and everywhere else.
Bro, I am 3 out of 4.
Have you heard his story about him trying to get tattooed by me originally?
Let it roll.
Listen to the story of dedication.
Let it roll.
Like, this guy's a piece of shit. So I knew what I like, kind of what I wanted to do for a long time. But I'm not an artist I can't spell artist. So let's just say that. So I wanted to find someone that had the experience to tell me what's gonna look good on my body because I don't fucking know. You
Right.
know? And
Look up Japanese artists.
yeah, I looked up Japanese artists, ironically, when we were in California, we were getting ready to move out here. And there was a guy in LA, there was a guy in New York, and then there was a guy in Columbus, Ohio. And is there a guy in Columbus, Ohio that's good at Japanese art, you know? Because again, I don't know anything about art or tattoos. And ironically, we were moving to Hannah, and I'm like, well, all right, how far is it? Okay, it's the same place. So then we come out here, and we got here Thanksgiving Day. And on like the 4th or 5th of December, I sent Durb. I found Retry, you know, I found him online. I figured out the website, guys. I didn't have to email someone else for help. I was confident. I got the artist, I found Durbs, I emailed her. Come on, let's say like, hey, I got a break, all right. So I went through the artist and I found Durb and I messaged him. And then like 2 days later, he responded. And I basically said, hey man, I found you online. You're the best, like one of the top Japanese guys in the country. I really want to get this very specific, like full body piece. this is kind of what I want, but I need someone to tell me what's going to look good. They design it. I don't have it. I was honest, like, I don't have any other tattoos. So, and I know this is a big commitment. I'd love to set up a time to meet with you. And then like 2 days later, he emailed me back and was like, hey man, really appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out. I've got like 10 or 11 artists that work for me that are really good. Check out their pages. And I'm real busy right now. So like, I wouldn't be able to get you in for a while. So then I was like, oh, fucker. So then I waited 2 days.
Yeah, you
And then,
waited.
I wanted to email immediately because I'm that guy that like, when I get something that pisses me off or someone tells me no, I'm instantly like,
Like, this is a chat.
so then I was like, okay, you waited 2 days, I'll wait 2 days. So I waited 2 days and I emailed back. And I was like, hey, I super appreciate it. I respect your time. I'd be willing to pay you a deposit or pay for a session just to come in and talk about what I want with no expectation of getting tattooed. Here's kind of the reason why. And I didn't want to like Durb will tell you, like, we're friends now. Like, I've never played and I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not the guy that wears like retired army stuff and then like I didn't go to a single place on Veterans Day and ask for a discount. I don't even take a discount at Home
Yeah,
Depot to 10%.
good.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not
quality.
that guy. Not that there's anything wrong with those guys. I had friends that died. I had friends that lost their legs, their testicles, their arms. None of that happened to me. So I don't feel right doing certain things. So that's what I'll say. But I did text her in that email. I did say, hey man, this tattoo is for a bunch of my buddies that were killed. So I want it to look right. I need it to be what in my head it is, but I don't know how to like do that. And then he didn't respond again. So I was like, this motherfucker.
I was like, I already told him no.
Yeah. So then
About
like
your
2 or 3
reply.
days later, Savannah had posted on something and Durb had shared it. And I was following him on Instagram and he had shared she was doing a burlesque show here in Columbus. And it just so happened that our friend Morgan and Jason were flying out from Tahoe to like hang out for a week. So then I went online, I found her events, and I'm a weird guy. I'm the stupid guy. Like I would never ask you for a discount on any service you gave me. Like I'm not that guy.
Right.
Like I don't ask Durb for a discount. Like even if I do a favor for you, I don't. It's like I'm not that guy. So then I booked the biggest table I could book at the event Savannah was doing. I paid, you know what I mean, for everything I paid.
He's
what
like,
I
I'm
needed to
getting
pay.
this motherfucking tattoo.
And it's a speakeasy at this event. So you show up there and it's like a pizza parlor, and then they
Yeah,
walk you through the
freezer,
kitchen, you go
yeah.
through the freezer, and they take you up a 5 stairs. I didn't tell Jen where we were going. I didn't tell Morgan where we were going. I didn't tell my buddy Jason because my buddy Jason, I'm a talker, but he's a talker. I
Right.
talk about shit like to get to something. He just talk. So I knew if I told him anything,
Wants
he'd
to hear
fuck
himself.
it up. And so I didn't even tell the girls we were going. I was like, just wear something sexy. So it was so ridiculous. We barely made it there. So we get to the event, we get upstairs, and like half the time I'm just staring at her like, sup, girl? And she's like, yeah, we've been married since the dawn of time. Like, you don't have to start, girl. Yeah. Like, yeah, again, my eyes are up here. I'm like, yeah, sup, girl.
Sup, girls? Sup, girls?
So we get a server, and Savannah did like an intro, and then there was 3 dancers, and then Savannah was the finale. And so when we had our waitress, her name was Jamie, which ironically she works for me now. And I, throughout the whole time I was taking care of her. Like every time she bought us drinks, I tipped her. Like not just at the end, I like took care of her. I was like, I'm gonna prove a point. And then
I'm not here to fuck around.
so then they do all the dances, and then Savannah is getting ready to come up for the finale. And I asked Jamie, I was like, hey, how many people are in here? And she's like, I have no idea. I was like, okay, go find out what her favorite drink is. And she's like, who? And I was like, Serrano's. And she's like, all right. So then she like leaves and comes back and she's like, well, it's tequila. I was like, cool. I want to buy a shot of tequila for every person in this building, or everybody in this restaurant. And she's like, I don't think we can do that. I was like, no, you can totally do it. So just kind of set it up.
I promise. You
And
can do
she's
it.
like, I gotta go ask. And then she leaves and she goes and asks, comes back and they're like, hey, we don't have enough tequila. And I was like, well, you guys got more tequila downstairs, right? And she's like, yeah, probably. I'm like, well, go ask him. So then they go and they come back up and they're like, hey, it's gonna be like $1,300. Like, yeah,
I didn't ask you a
I was
price.
like, I didn't ask how much it cost. I told you guys what I had to do. And they're like, well, you're gonna have to pay before we get the shots out. I'm like, here's my card. So then they go and they swipe my card for $1,300 for like 85 shots plus shot. Like I did the band, I did security,
Yeah.
I did all the girls, I did all the servers, I did everybody in the restaurant. Durb and his whole family, his mom was there in the VIP section. I did everybody.
Nice.
And I didn't say nothing. I just waited. I was like, give this one, have Savannah come out, give it to her, tell her it's just from a fan, So then Savannah comes out, they do it,
Dose.
and she fucking like Instagram live streams the whole thing, like as 80 people hold up these shots of tequila, and she's like, "Oh, fan dedicated," and they're like, "Yeah, stand up, Ryan." And I'm like, I'm fake being humble, and I like didn't stand up at first. I'm like, "No, it's cool, guys." I'm like,
Yeah,
"No,
I'm
let's
good.
stand up." No, man, I'm good. It's not about that. And they're like, "No, really, stand up." So
Then he's like,
stood up, and I was like, hey, like Durb stood up because obviously it's Durb's wife, and he looked
Right.
over at me, and I stared
Who
straight
got more
at him.
shots?
yeah,
And I was like,
the fucking
yes, just wait. I was like, I didn't go watch the human baby. I was like, I'm coming. So So then she comes out, she does the whole thing, she's got a shot in there, and of course, like she saw where I was sitting, and I just by coincidence, Durb was on the other side of like the dance floor. So Durb was on one side and I was on the other. So I have videos of her that night, like I literally could have been like, touch. You know what I mean? Like she's that close to me and Durb, because obviously Durb's her husband. And she's like, this guy just spent $1,300. So like she spent almost the entire final act right in front of us.
Yeah.
Never even crossed to the other side. And then when she got done, she came down and gave me a hug, gave Jen a hug. We took a bunch of photos. Then she went around with all the common folks and did her thing.
The common folks.
So then Durb at that point comes over.
Yeah,
And Durb comes over. He's like, hey man, really appreciate it. I'm like, yeah, cool. Didn't say anything. Shook his hand. I was like, nice man.
I think you went off to the restroom.
Yeah, and then we like hung out a little bit
Jen
more.
came in. Her wingman.
Yeah. So at this point, when I did the shots thing, my buddy Jason, we call him Scrooge McDuck, because the guy makes 7 figures, but he secretly has like a pool of coins and he swims through it. If we got it's like get a bottle of wine for dinner, and we're like, no problem. And then when it gets there, he was like, oh, that was like $64. You want to split the $64? And I'm like, no, Jason, I don't
I'll
wanna
just
split
buy
this
it.
I'll
Like,
pay
it's
for the
fine.
$64. He's like,
Yeah.
no man, I'll split my side. I'm like, listen, Scrooge, like, no, you know, we're like, hey, there's still some Red Bull in there, man. You gotta finish that. It's like 4 cents of Red Bull. You know, like he's that saves like fruit that he half eats. He wraps it in napkins and leaves it in his truck in his cup holder. He's like,
Oh my
"Later."
God.
Like there's something
Don't
wrong.
waste it.
You know, you make 40 grand this month. He's like, yeah, but that's a peach. And I'm like, I know they grow on trees. He's like, eat more of it. And I'm like, I hate you.
59 cents each.
Yeah, he's that guy. So then he had just enough to drink, and then he was like, can't believe you did that. Like, what? I cannot believe you did that. And I'm just like, it's fine. And he kept going and going. And I finally told him, I was like, listen, all of this is to get that guy to come talk to me. And then Jason's like, why? And then Jen told him, well, Durb, and like they know me, they're our best friends. And they're, well, Durb, you know, they're like,
Durb told me no.
Durb told Brian no. And then Morgan's like, oh yeah, no, that's not. And then, you know,
Let me have it.
yeah.
And here we are.
So then I was super respectful there because, of course, unfortunately that night he had on a jiu-jitsu shirt and all these guys were like trying to fake wrestle him, and I was
I was fighting somebody do the or like
it was like arm people at
Yeah.
the fucking burlesque show.
the hockey dude, remember the hockey
No, it
dude?
was out of control. So I was being super.
I was like, I never should have.
like everyone.
He's like, Durb got a hard enough time. Fucking old dudes trying to fight him.
So then they had Durb, and so they invited us to hang out, and everybody else left. So now it's just the band, it's just the girls, it's just the waitresses, and then like Durb and a couple other like VIP people that like they invite only, and then they invited our 4. So then we stayed, and that's it. Then obviously we can hear each other, the music's not loud, and we start talking. And I was trying to figure out, all right, how am I
How
gonna
do I
bring this
drop
up
this?
without coming off like a super stalker? And then I've been drinking all night. It's like I'm gonna go pee, and when I come back, I won't be like needing to pee when we're just having a chill conversation. So I leave and go pee, and Jason comes stumbling in all drunk. And is like to the girls, like, where's Brian? And they're like, he's peeing. And then Jason like looks at Durb and goes, you're that guy that like didn't tattoo my buddy. And Durb's like, what? Like I didn't tattoo who? And Jason's like, yeah, you're supposed to give him a tattoo, but you said no. And I like come out to that, and I looked at Jason, I was like, what did you say?
Yeah, that's right. He
I
was
was like, what the
saying.
fuck you say? And he's like, this is the guy, right? Like, oh man, it's weird. Like, you're ruining it. Like everything I just did that was cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
He's like, oh well, shit. Well, yeah. Just hey, Brian wants to get a tattoo from you, and I'm like, hey, man. So Durb's like, and to be fair, Durb was super chill. Now Durb's like, what happened, man? And I was like, well, I'd emailed you a couple times about a tattoo, but you're busy. Told me to look at some of your other artists, and I was like, but like, I just wanted to be like, I'm a serious dude. I bought that shot 1 out of respect for your wife, but 2 out of respect for you. Like I'm a serious guy.
Yeah,
So
that was cool.
if
Yeah.
you have some time, I would just love to talk to you about it and get your opinion. And I told him when I looked it up, you were one of the top 3 rated dudes, and like we talked about earlier, I'm gonna wear this for the rest of
country
my
or something
life.
like that.
Yeah, the country, and like I want it to
Wow.
be what it looks like in my opinion,
Right.
which is amazing. And then he was like, you know what, man? And he pulled his phone out, went to his email, and like Durb's like I am that I've discovered now. We
I go-
keep shit in our email that we haven't dealt with yet.
Yeah.
So he scrolls to my email from like 2 weeks before, and he's like, look, it's still in
I'm
my
like, he's
email.
still sitting here.
And he's like, I hadn't decided if I was going to
Yeah.
respond or just to have like Jules at the time. I know that was. So he's like, have Jules like basically tell you to,
Drop
you
the
know,
hammer.
fucking no, man, go over here, go fuck yourself. So then he was like, hey man, what are you doing next
You're
week?
right. Yeah, I did have it still sitting there.
Yeah.
You're right.
And we set up a time, and then I came in and we sat on the ground over there, and you showed me all these Japanese books, and I told you, and I was like, hey man, like you're the artist. I don't know what's gonna look good. This is what I want and need. I need 21 cherry blossoms for my buddies that were killed in Afghanistan.
There's a lot of meaning
themselves.
in his body
I
too,
need
yeah.
5 fish, and this is the reason I need 5. This is how I want the direction of the fish, because there's meaning to that. But where they go and how it looks and the size of the fish, I mean, you can tell. I was like,
Oh,
I
huge.
was not
Yeah.
that guy that came in.
You've
and
gone
like,
for it, man.
I need this.
Looks
I
amazing.
don't like.
I want it exactly this
No,
way, no deviation,
yeah.
picked every color.
So needless to say, I'm really glad I took him on as a client because he's been a great client. You sit like a fucking rock and you're consistent. Like we got a lot done quickly.
Yeah, we started March of last year.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, we're flying through his body
That's-
because he
that's
sits so
not-
well. He in the end, this shit probably hurt like fuck.
Yeah, it was unpleasant.
You know, you can
It,
see anything.
it was unpleasant.
But so then yeah, after that, so then it was like, then we hung out with her like 2 or 3 times. Then we came out for your birthday, and then we came out for her
Yep.
birthday, and then like helped you out with the loan on this time. It's just
Yeah,
grown to,
it's been a
like,
good relationship for sure. Yeah, you guys are some of the favorite people.
I mean, Jen's all right.
She's okay.
Oh, sometimes.
She's kinda cool.
Sometimes.
You
I'm
know.
not getting scraped.
Getting ready to
Beginning of
start
time, you guys have been married, huh?
leave tomorrow.
It doesn't show. It doesn't show. I love it. Man, that's an insane amount of work, and that's dedication.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, to your point earlier about people's cars, like we're over. Oh yeah, mid-30s right now. So, oh, I know, like yeah, we're pushing almost 40K. Yep.
Just on this so far.
Just on everything we've done.
On just this so far.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
that's my favorite question. You were like, how much have you spent?
Oh,
You have to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't afford it.
Yeah.
You have to ask.
I actually got asked the first time by that girl that was in here last week how long this has taken. And I've been keeping track of the hours too. And I was like, by the end of the day, we'll be at 96 hours. And she was like,
It's a lot.
yeah. And she was like, how much does that cost? And again, I don't want to like, because
You could
Ben
fathom
made
it.
a comment to me once, or no, it was actually you, Fawn. You made a comment to me once about how like Jen and I, not that we're lucky, but basically like we're dedicated, you know, we have money, but we can come in and get tattoos.
You guys can
Good
afford to get
tattoos
really good.
and get them fast and stuff like
Right,
that.
yeah,
And
come
we were
back,
just having a
not save
conversation
back
with some
up.
other artists that
Right.
were like, the average person, this would take 10 years.
Right.
Because the
Most
money,
people, like honestly, I mean, the majority
That
of
one
people, this
sleeve
would
would have
take
taken a year.
5
for sure.
years to do at least this whole body suit.
Mhm.
Mine
Have
was,
it done in
mine was about 5 years.
yeah, and we had
Yeah,
the
it's about
entire
yeah.
suit outlined in under a year.
Yep.
And we had half of the sleeves, and then the only reason we got off, I mean, you and I were going every other week was because you got COVID, then I got COVID.
Yep.
And then you went out of the country, and then I went out of the country, and it just hit a perfect storm of like,
Right,
and then he actually texted me and was like, dude, I just checked and I haven't tattooed you in like 2 months, and I was like, get the fuck out of here, like,
Yeah,
we
we need to
it
get
was
session
actually
in.
4 weeks in a row. Like I was here last week, I'm here today, and then he was like, get in here, man, and then we
I was
started.
like, yeah, I want to see when I'm here from Vegas too.
Yeah,
Every time,
nice.
you know, always get a session or two in.
Life.
I'm getting ready to start a sleeve tomorrow on a client that's they want to start flying into Vegas, getting like 2-day sessions, and then flying back here, and then getting me while I'm back here too, and just flying through the sleeve again.
Well, that's why, like, when you and Paul, you guys want to come to Detroit? And I was like, yeah, I've never been. Let's go.
That's what it takes, man.
And I was like, yeah, let's go.
That's what I'm saying. You couldn't have turned into a better
My
client.
daughter was like, sublime. Like, Dad would hold these teeth, and I'm like, ugh. I sent your photo, fucking teeth hanging out. I was like,
Jesus.
eyes
Yeah.
and teeth for me. I was like, nope.
No.
No,
You can have an arm hanging off. I'd literally be like, I'll put a turkey on you. But if your eyes fucked up or your teeth, I'm like, get away from me.
teeth are weird with me too, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't. And they break them and they make that sound.
Yeah.
You can hear it.
yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah,
I can feel it.
Oh,
My tank.
I'm
what's
surprised they didn't. She was awake.
Pass out.
She was awake.
They did laughing gas because they
Yeah.
were like, hey, she's so small. And that's what I said.
Yeah.
So then like, again, when they took her hand out of her mouth one time and she was like, please stop. All high as fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just like, my like paternalistic was like, kill everything in this
Yeah.
room. Like, and put her teeth back in her mouth. Like,
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
Murdering.
just
Baby, I couldn't do it.
Poor girl.
and I sent her, I was like, hey man, I don't think.
Yeah,
we're
they were
gonna
supposed to be
make it."
flying out to
Showed me
Vegas,
the photos.
I didn't see that photo. But
You were not.
showed me the photo of her like in the bed. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
poor kid.
She kept like holding my hand. Of course, their hands are so small. She's holding one finger.
Finger, yeah.
And then when it hurts, she's squeezing. And then that's the part of me. I was like, just put her asleep. Like, put her the fuck to sleep. If she's in pain, she squeezes it like, well, we can do it when they're awake. It's better. And they're like, great, great.
Well, it started out, people were big neck, like, knew it was gonna.
Oh, yeah, no,
so they
I'm
sent
I'm
it
not
out.
afraid to admit it. Like, when I see my daughter. in
Yeah, as a
pain, I
kid,
physically
man.
get angry. So
Yeah.
I waited outside the car, and then Jen texted me, was like, Ada's asking for you. And I was like, all right, Dad, you gotta man up. And I get in there, and she literally holds her hands up in the air, and I stood the entire surgery, didn't sit down once everybody else in the room was sitting, and I stood over her and held both of her hands in my little
I
finger.
saw those photos.
And she
yeah.
just sat there and squeezed every time. I told her, squeeze as hard as you can every time it hurts. And every once in a while, she would like, her little knuckles would go white.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, these doctors are women.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you fucking big strong man, make my daughter cry.
Yeah.
But it's a girl, so I'm like,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
I couldn't do it, dude.
Like,
I couldn't do it.
yeah, it was hard.
I couldn't do it. Nope.
It was hard. I'd never seen her hurt like that. And then, like Jen said, then like 8
And then she
days later,
broke.
she got her fucking arm broken. So she comes home and she's like, damn, my arm hurts. My
Now
arm
she's
hurts."
tough as
And
nails.
I told her, I was like, baby girl, you're real tough. And she's like, it hurts real bad. And I'm like, okay, well, you need to go to the hospital then. And then Jen and I talked, and Jen's like, hey, let's wait and see how it looks tomorrow. If it's that's swollen, then we'll take her in. And she woke up in the morning and it was not good.
It was
So
so.
then I would
You're putting
take
it
her
on
to-
Jen again.
To me, I was
So
like,
then
oh
Jen
no,
texted
she's
me.
fine.
Yeah, Jen texted me and she's like, I just won the worst mom of the year award after being in the hospital for like 5 hours. So I knew what was coming. And I was like, her arm's broken. And she's like, yep. And I was like, it's fine, babe. Like,
Right.
really tough, like even the teeth thing, she never cried. She was like, oh, like, but she didn't cry. So, but yeah, then now she's in a full fucking cast. So that
Yeah.
girl cannot catch a break.
Yeah, he immediately was like, let's take her to the emergency room. I'm like, no, she's
Yeah, she's like,
like, she's double jointed. So I was like, she probably just like hyperextended it. It's probably just sore, not a big deal.
I was like, take it off right now.
No.
So baby's mama shut her finger in the door when we were still married, and she called me in a panic. I shut my finger in the door, it hurts real bad. I'm like, I know. Are you okay? Well, it's not bleeding. It's not okay. So if your bone's not sticking out at your finger, you're probably fine. Well, I mean, I should go to the hospital. No, just come home.
Right.
We'll take a look at it. She said, it hurts real bad. I'm sure it does, hon. Just come home. Nope. Broke that motherfucker in like 4 different places. She had to get screws down in through her fucking finger, big cast thing forever. Yeah, husband of the year award that year. Let me tell you, because I talked her out of not going.
Oh, yeah.
And she came home and just like whined so much, like just like, if it hurts that bad, go. I'm not, who am I to tell you not to go? And she angrily left, and I got the 6-hour phone call later.
yeah.
Like, Dick.
Got it.
You know what? Emergency
Yeah.
surgery.
Got it.
How,
Got it.
how does that make you
I
feel?
hope you don't like HJs.
Yeah. You're getting left-handed. So like, yeah, oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
That was Jen with Ada. She's like, I'm the worst mom ever.
You know how many times I shut my finger in the door? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
This one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Fawn? When you see someone with a bad tattoo, do you think less of them?
Think less of them. I like the way she's like
Yeah.
phrased it. She was all delicate about it. You judge.
I broke the glass. The red phone's open.
Loaded
So-
questions.
Yes, I definitely look at the quality of a tattoo. I try to see like what a tattoo says about somebody before I make the snap judgment. But usually I can just like scan up and down and I get the story so quick that like, but the thing that's more of a challenge for me is like, I'm from a smaller town, like an hour away from Columbus, and my mom still lives there and my whole family lives there. And like, a large majority of my clients are still there. So like people know my name there. And like my mom always introduces herself as Fawn's mom. So like people know she's my mom. But I had to tell her she can't do this anymore, because what she would do is she would see somebody with horrible tattoos and she'd be like, oh,
So
like, oh, I'm sorry.
what she shouldn't have done was that.
Sorry about your poor choices.
She'd be like, oh no,
Yeah.
oh no,
Mom's mom doesn't
fix that.
dance around the
Don't
top. She's a
don't
she's a to the point kind of
It
lady.
might be sentimental. It might be like that might be the best they could afford. It might be the same exact replica as a tattoo somebody else that passed away had. You can never talk down to somebody about their tattoo. You can just say like, that's a tattoo. Yeah. Yes, it is. Sometimes like if I'm at a bar being social or something like that, people start rolling up their clothes, showing them off, especially if I'm wearing shorts and actually like showing off some of my tattoos. Everybody's got to show me their tattoos. And they'll be like, look at this thing. It's supposed to be a, and whatever you fill in the blank. I'm always like, that is a tattoo. And then like, they'll be showing it to me like they're proud. And I'll be like, yep, they got the ink in there.
It probably looks just like the picture they drew. Huh? I have family members that have gotten tattoos, and I'm like, the fuck didn't you call me first?
Same.
Like, you don't think I know? Well, ink guy fucking came to my house and did it, bro.
Big guy.
Bro, I was about to say his real name, and I had to stop.
Basement
I don't want to
tattoo.
credit and like, I don't understand. Like, why would you? I know real. Stop. I'm not saying kitchen table tattoos are bad. But the majority of the time, kitchen table tattoos are bad.
Yeah, right.
Like, just bad. I'm only saying that because I've got some really good tattoos on my kitchen table. But like, they're bad.
Good idea. Same question, Durb.
What's that now?
See a shitty tattoo.
I think like Fawn says, we deal with a lot of people, so we see a lot of different mentalities with different tattoos. So I think it clearly is, like I said earlier, I think the quality of tattoos you put on your body or how much you care about yourself. If you're wearing shitty tattoos, you don't care about your body as much. Therefore, I think that's a mentality as well. So yeah, I could definitely see somebody, especially tattoo education, that's the person with the shitty tattoos that still be calling tattoo machines guns and shit like that. And it's clearly evident. And typically, if you look down, they're wearing horrible fucking tattoos and they don't know any different, you know? I mean, you see the true collectors and enthusiasts that are way more educated about tattoos, about wearing them and the process and how much they cost and all that. And people wearing shitty tattoos, it's a whole different mentality, you know, as far as cost, quality, seeing art. Some people think that like shitty tattoos look good artistically because they don't know.
They've only been exposed to a certain aspect of tattoo.
Yeah, so they don't know.
Well, they think the chicken scratch is amazing because that's what they see.
Right.
So that kind of leads into the second thing that I asked you, Paul, is what does that make you think about the arts? Because Jen and I have had this conversation before, and I know this is going to sound real bad.
The
guys.
art or the artist?
Well, the artist, because like Jen and I have had this conversation. Like we've seen, like one of my military guys, one of my buddies, one of my soldiers was one, and I'm not the most handsome guy alive by any means, but my wife's a smoke show.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna say.
This dude was like fugly on a stick that fought the fugly stick. Was the broken part of the stick that came off. That's really how it was, okay? But they were in love and they just like did their thing and they loved each other. And I had asked Jen one time, I really wasn't being an actual tell you, and I was like, do you think to each other? You know what I mean? Like they're not attractive people and they know they're not attractive people individually, but together, like
Power couple.
do they think like we're both fucking out together? Like I'm just like psychologically. So in the same aspect, when a shitty tattoo artist puts one of those shitty chicken scratches on someone, do they look at it and go, nailed it?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Person.
No one knows.
Sometimes
Man,
it's just a hustle and I
just
don't
need the
care.
money. So get next guy in here. Here's your fucking.
That's probably 50-50.
Yeah.
I think people that are learning as well, that is the best they can, you know what I mean? Like they're happy that line was kind of straight. Less when they put in look like a zigzag. So it's got to do with skill level and where you're at.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what I was thinking.
Where I
Like,
thought you
Does
were
a shitty
running with
tattoo
this.
artist know he's being a shithead?
most of
Or
the time.
she? Do they know that they're being a shithead?
Here's the thing. Okay. All tattooers start out somewhere, and some tattooers just flat out suck when they start. And that's fine. We all go through that. But you gotta be able to look at your own work and see, can it be better? And like, it always can be better, but you've got to have the pride to work towards it. You can't do the same sucky level, entry level tattoo for the rest of your life. You can't just keep making the same marks and not caring about improving. That's the difference. If somebody's just starting out, they're learning, okay. But if it's the same guy that's been slinging ink off of kitchen tables for the last 10 or 20 years, and he's still doing the same jacked up lines and the same hand-drawn cursive that's got the wrong angle of slant to it, and the letters don't even make sense according to any typography anybody's ever seen.
See what the irony is, young lady?
What's that?
What's the problem?
I am the problem.
Jen and I talked about this today, not you being the problem, but in my business and what we do, when we have eggs like that kind of do a bad job and kind of know they do, financially they weed themselves out because inevitably the economy of scale shuts them down.
Well,
Because you're such a good tattoo artist and Durb's such a good tattoo artist, the average person can't get into you. So then they have to go to that person that does the chicken scratch.
Yeah.
no,
Because they're gonna
there
get
are hundreds of good tattooers in Columbus.
It's like,
no, and that's fair. But I
Makes it more
saw
difficult.
a tattoo the other day, and the guy's like, "You got to see my guy in Dayton. It's so awesome. You know, he's super booked out like 4 months in advance." And I saw his tattoo, and I was like, "You couldn't pay for my tattoo and go in and get a tattoo."
Yeah.
And that guy's booked out.
And
4
that's
months.
that's what I was just talking about.
Like-
Sometimes they don't know art, so they don't see a difference between that tattoo and that tattoo because they don't know.
Well, art is also subjective.
It
If
is,
You've been
it is.
told that that particular look is what's cool, regardless if it's artistically correct. That's why there's ugly shoes and ugly shirts and Versace's a thing. You see that? You see the carpet pattern. The silk purple and gold Versace's. That's no one woke up in the morning and was like, I'm wearing that. But someone said that's cool and you love it. And everybody went, "Hey, you're right. I love it. I fucking love that and I want it."
I think
Yeah, a
like
lot of us-
Gucci's stuff is not good, but
All designer
You
shit,
know?
name
Right.
brand.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just,
The direction I
it's
thought
not
you were
their
going
fault.
with
Their
that.
cultures.
What I was gonna say is, and I've said this for years, and I didn't come up with this. I stole it from somebody. I don't remember who, but it's a shame when a cute girl walks into a shop and walks out a little less cute.
A bad tattoo, yeah.
Yeah,
Guys are
That's a
just ugly all the
shame.
time.
that's a shame when that happens.
Need a cat.
Like I said, I heard that from somebody else, but it just kind of like stuck with me because that's one of those things. Like I might not have put it into those words myself, but like,
Good point.
that's.
We need to make that into a tattoo with a sign.
Oh, that's a good one, Durb.
Yeah.
Do you want me to send
We
it
could
to you
do
in a
that.
text so you remember?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like to be fair, but I don't know if it's just the Newark where I live. I know it's just not Newark, but I feel like I see more shitty tattoos than I see good tattoos.
Well, the access to shitty tattoos is easier.
And that's what I was getting at.
So when you're in the market where the top of the line is shit, you don't have to reach far to get to the top of the line. When you're in a market like Columbus, where the top of the line is hard to obtain, it's there. You can pay and wait and get attention and do what it takes to get on the roster. There's ways. Here we sit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
I also know that people are like, well, I can get that cheaper somewhere else. too.
That's
then
what I
go,
was
bro.
just gonna say.
Yeah.
That's value.
I don't
That's
even wanna deal with
value-based
those
pricing.
Well, that's
If the value is the money and not the quality of the art, take your to the person that's willing to do lower quality art.
Yeah, after Durb tattooed me, he was like, "You can't get a shitty tattoo now."
You know.
That's what he did.
Yeah, it's right. You're getting a shitty tattoo.
Like if I were to get like a back piece in my ribs and then go
Right.
get like a fucking dinosaur, a scribbled dinosaur on my leg from
Right, yeah.
Charles down the street, it would look, it wouldn't look good. Like you're not gonna go fucking.
No, like I said, I'm stuck now.
Yeah.
You're
Getting no
Right.
regrets on the throat.
Yeah.
Stuck with you guys, Jesus.
Point, like I Fawn put an awesome
On my leg, I have a very iconic Nightmare Before Christmas scene. It's, the twisted hill with the Oogie Boogie and the moon. And a lot of people have it. And when everybody looks at it, they'll be like, oh, that looks amazing. Like the color, like she nailed it. I love it. She did a great job on it. And people will be like, well, how much did you pay for that? And I'm like, well, for this
Anything.
section was this much. And they're like, oh, well, I got mine for this amount. And I'm like,
And then
and you can,
we were actually at
Cool.
we were
Yeah.
at
You
the
asked
Great
for mine,
Wolf's
it was
Loft.
cool.
And I
Right.
heard a girl telling her, well, I got mine for this. And her hill, the Jack and Sally were on, looked like the actual chocolate poop emoji. It was swirly. It was swirly. It's like the hill's not swirly, it's that little crescent,
Right.
like, and I was like, but it swirled, and I was like, do you think that was deliberate? And then she's like, just let her walk away.
Yeah.
Let her walk
Like-
away. Like,
Let it ride.
get out of this conversation.
and I think
And
that's
that's why you
the,
go, and that's why yours looks like this.
right.
And you're complimenting mine.
That's why you got a turd on your
And,
shoe, literally.
Where's the smile?
And I
My favorite's always, who did that? I'm like, which part?
Right.
Like, I mean, jeez.
It's crazy.
That's one brain ass cord.
Yeah, one there this
Yeah.
morning. Oh, fuck your elbow.
Not so funny, bro.
That's done.
Oh,
Show that fucking thing.
so bad. I'm like,
Yeah. Got you on camera.
He's done, and
He's like, all right.
where he wiggles, I guess.
Where your artist broken arm with
There goes
Broken
that-
elbow, what?
Jeez. Broken
So
elbow
in
diaries.
this situation, Durb hurts himself at work. Can he sue you?
Yeah, right,
I
yeah,
think he should.
Brian did that.
Like, but like I said,
I mean, if he wasn't-
like, here's all the tattoo, Durb.
Suck on that.
But like, you know,
Hope you enjoy these tenants that don't have his in place. Like,
Yeah.
That's good for the evening right there.
and I knew you guys were into rentals and stuff. I didn't realize it was on that scale. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's
It's a lot of headache.
it's a shit show.
I meant that in the nicest
Sure, that
fucking way
makes a-
possible.
No,
You know
no,
what I
it's,
mean? Like,
I need fun mom to do right now, to sit me down and go, you're retarded.
let me tell you something.
See, we
Yeah,
the
son.
scale of it, and I'm afraid to like let people in my like childhood home. Like, I'm
Yeah.
talking, like
Right.
turn it into a duplex and let like manage 2 people. I just don't want my shit ruined. Like
Well,
the
look at it as
carpet and walls, that's replaceable.
But that's the thing, if you look at it as an opportunity to renovate the house. Let them live there 3 years,
Yeah.
So,
make enough money to redo everything that you want to redo,
Yeah.
and fucking bounce, call it done when you're done.
and today,
And moving your
I
sweet
was
ass
on a
house.
call, we're also buying an 80-40 unit here in Columbus,
Mhm.
and
Jesus Christ.
I was on the phone with the seller, and he does something, I told him, I was super humble, I was like, hey man, I don't understand how you get the rent you get. And like, I've never heard of what was it called?
Deposit insurance.
Deposit insurance, and I was like, I have 300 plus rentals, and I'm like, what is deposit insurance?
Yeah.
And he was like, so, I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but I don't, but for you, like, it would be perfect.
Mhm.
So instead of charging a deposit, he makes them go through like a third-party insurance company that specializes in what's called tenant deposit insurance.
Mhm.
They have to buy the premium for the year, so like if your rent's 1,400, the deposit insurance is like $2,000. But the deposit insurance covers up to like $8,000 in damages. It also covers lost
Fuck
rents,
yeah.
and it also covers late fees.
Yeah.
So he was like, so what happens with us is if someone destroys something, I file a claim against their insurance, and then they pay me the full $8,000, and I fix up my unit, which I was gonna fix up anyway, and then they just lose their entire insurance premium, and he makes them do it every year, and I was like, dog. That's the smartest thing I've ever, because I take deposits,
Mhm.
they never cover all the damages,
No.
and then I'm left home to sick. Well, so then I told Jen, I was like, every one of our people is going to this new system.
Yeah.
And you can do it based off of what you wanted. So like, if you have a good tenant, you could just charge them like, you know, you could say, hey, I only want $2,000 covered, and then that policy is like $800.
Mhm.
But he was like, so another reason he gets way higher rent is like, I won't rent to somebody that has an eviction in the last 5 years unless there's an extenuating circumstances, like single mom, fleeing, certain situations. And I'll call him and ask him, like,
Yeah.
I don't handle the day-to-day stuff, but she knows the girls that do, they'll call me and say, hey, I just placed one. They're like, hey, it's a situation, blah, 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 with the kids. And I'm like, okay, she can move in. Or they'll call me and say, hey, this guy's on fixed income, so security, retired vet. He doesn't have the money for a full deposit. Can we work with him? And I'm like, what's the deposit on our building? $950. Can you do $400? And she's like, yeah. So like, I make those decisions because I'm secretly a giant teddy bear. But now that I know about this deposit security.
But now that you're on the podcast telling
Yeah.
everybody you're
Yeah.
a big softie.
Oh, yeah. I got her though. She's been cutthroat.
Cutthroat.
I have to reel her in every day. She's a psychopath. Like some mom will call me after like getting past Ken that just happened. It's like, I got 4 kids. I can't be homeless over Christmas. I'm like, all right, fine. We'll deal with you in January. And Jen's like, put her on the phone. I'm like, no.
No.
And she's like, put her on the phone. I'm like, no. Jen's like, those kids can be homeless. It's like, you're a monster.
I'm not a monster because I know that I would do whatever it takes to make sure that I make sure that my mortgage is paid, our power bills paid. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just a giant softie.
yeah, you are a
But
softie.
I am a giant softie. So that's something that we're gonna start doing now. And like, so with that, you could just charge them that instead of a deposit.
Right.
And then if they don't pay rent, then you can file a claim for the lost rent. And the guy even told me, I'm gonna obviously dig into it further, but he said that the deposit, the way it works is if you have to evict them 3 months out, that policy has to cover 3 months of full rent. And then it covers the damages too, up to obviously the max policy. So
Right.
he's like, I've never turned, because I asked him, like, how many times do you not max it out? He said, we max it out every time.
Okay.
Because either between the eviction or the damages or what I can put on paper, we're getting that money. And I'm like, you dumb. Like,
You change
I'm doing what
change
you
the world.
just said. Like,
Yeah.
'cause you
As
just changed
long
my
as it
life.
doesn't turn into an insurance litigation nightmare.
Right, like if you were
It's
just
like-
like fraudulent, I'm sure they'd come at you, but like.
Yeah. Oh, it's so small for me. It's one fucking place.
And
And I
again,
would turn into a
if the guy
duplex.
destroyed it or a girl, whoever destroyed it, you could just be like, here's the photos, and they had an $8,000 policy and it cost them $2,000, and I'm taking all it. Here's a quote from a construction company for $8,000 done.
I did roofing insurance restoration, right? That was our step. Like we went in, found damage, blah, 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 so it's an insurance company. And it got to the point where the qualifications of what was considered damage got so scrutinized that it was impossible to get these things to fucking pass. So when I started, super simple. But over the the couple years that I did it, it got harder. So I would be leery about as many properties as you have getting to the point where they're like, no, it costs you $7 to replace the ceiling fans. You know what I mean? Like it gets to a point where they're running their labor on fucking day rate instead of a specialist, or you're in this position where they're not going to replace your high end fixture. They want you to go back in with
something. That makes sense. And like, luckily, like I'm the kind of guy I won't abuse it. Like I said, but I understand.
But because everybody else does,
you
are still in that same boat, regardless if you're the one abusing the stuff or not. So like, because I was like, never mind, I'm not going to do this job anymore. Because it just got to the point where every time you got done, your job was to find fault, right? So you just felt shady by the end of the day because you're like, no matter what I do, I'm tricking somebody out of their money. Like pulled one over on the inch, even if it's legitimate as fuck. Still feel like squeak this one by was the theme of the day, as opposed to we did what was right by the customer.
No, you're right.
And it got real weird. Got real weird.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, it was got weird.
Sorry.
So I don't know. Insurance companies scare me. Same with the car. Like you go in with car damage, and they're like, "Yeah, that only costs about $2,000." The car company fixing it's like that's $7,000 worth of damage. What the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would say if you've got a place and it has a potential to make you some,
I'll do that.
sounds like serious
I'll do
capital,
it.
I would.
Yeah.
Especially in this economy, like people aren't buying, so they're renting, which not to sound like that guy, you can charge.
I'll never
rent
rent
right
anywhere.
now.
If I go somewhere else, I'm buying. Like,
Yeah.
I have.
You want to be my roommate?
I thought you had me. Kick him the fuck out. Don't fucking watch this podcast.
He's watching. Your roommate's he's like,
No, it's the same guy that I'm having some
Pay for work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking dope. Man, don't get rid of him. Lots of rooms. No. Just forgot.
I live in the garage, son. Come, you can have the master suite. But yeah, I'm with you. Couple years down the road, if the market's still the same, I might highly consider the same. But,
Right.
like,
Well, I mean, I have very little in the house. But like I said, if I were to, my house is like, there's 2 kitchens. There's 3 bathrooms. There's a full attic, a full basement, 2 living rooms.
why don't you just live in part of it and rent the rest?
I don't want to fucking live with him. Like,
Don't
not
tell
saying,
them it's your place.
yeah.
Do you want me to come in and negotiate the whole thing for you? I'll be the fucking landlord. You're just another tenant.
Just don't.
your
Yeah,
roommate be like, man, fuck the landlord.
Right.
Yeah,
I want to go get my mail. I want to go out in the porch of my house and get my mail.
you can still do that.
Kyle's lease is up soon.
I'm living in Newark. It's the third. As soon as I get this Silicon Valley through New Albany, it's gonna be. I'm gonna have to start taking 70 here instead of 161.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude, 161 is going
It's
to
getting packed.
It's going to get fucking gross.
It's getting packed.
5 years from now, dude, 161 is going to have to turn it. It's already double lanes on each side. It's going to have to go to triple. Like it's going to have to be 3 lanes on each side now. It has to.
Damn.
We were just talking about, they just got that done on the way to Cincy.
Yeah.
And now it's like, all right, immediately redirect those funds
Yeah.
because it's already getting bad up there.
The amount of large apartment complexes that are going in everywhere in Columbus right now is ridiculous.
That's the whole reason we're trying to buy these ones so bad is because like rents are going up like crazy.
Oh, dude,
because
yeah.
People don't want to buy and they can't find where to rent.
Is it the interest rates that are really low right now? Or are they really hot? How is it that nobody's going to buy?
Like buying houses, yeah,
Yeah.
interest rates are stupid.
Yeah, it's
Mine's fixed, so it's like,
That's because you bought a long time ago.
yes.
Yeah, I just did a refi.
Yeah.
And I was like, you changed it to what?
See, I wouldn't, yeah.
But it's all good. It's all going. I'm just waiting for everything to pop and interest rates to go back down to like 2%. I'll just go
I mean, well,
refi
yeah,
again.
Is the housing
We'll
market,
see that again. Shit.
is the housing market, I mean, eventually it's going to go crash again.
I'm
right?
in this for a while, man. I've got patience.
Yeah.
All right. Life.
Living it.
But yeah, if you want to divide your spot up into a couple rentals, I'll definitely be your fake landlord.
What I would do though is just like we're thinking in my head is I use like I'm trying to think. I use a downstairs kitchen. The upstairs kitchen is Brian's storage room. It's like there's old TVs.
Here we are.
My
Here we are.
childhood toy. Like,
I live upstairs. Remember how-
Hold on a second.
yes.
Hold on, I gotta
upstairs.
rewind. I need to hear about these childhood toys.
Dude, I've got some old ass.
I bet you do. I bet
Any
they're
Star Wars?
meticulously in the
No,
boxes and.
Some of them, yeah.
I bet you were that kid that just needed
Didn't
to
play with
look
them.
at your treasures and just like,
That's what I got. We were talking about, I think me and Jordan's talked about it before. I got the Pokemon cards. The
Pokemon?
original
Pokemon.
Pokemon card.
Pokemon.
I haven't even got them out to see how much they're worth. But Pokemon right now
I
are
can tell you what
Charizard. I got one sitting in my closet right now.
That's Adam Rogers.
what's its condition?
Never taken out of.
probably fantastic.
I don't think it has like sleeve. I remember when I got it at Comic Shop or Comic Shop Plus, the guy being like, "I'll give you $200 for it right now," and me being like, "Fuck you!" It's like, that's going to my house and in my book, and that's where it's been for.
He's sitting on like a $1
15
million
years.
card right
I'll
now.
send you some links.
All right, I've got a majority of those. This sounds crazy too. 7 yeah, 7 to 9-year-old Brian, maybe younger. I don't know. Remember when Power Rangers was the thing? No,
Oh, yeah.
my mom, you told me, like, I don't know, they were called Zords. They were like the ones that you
Oh,
connected.
no, never.
Well, anyway, my mom told me she used to go to like line up outside the stores, and the moms would fucking run through the department store to get them.
Oh, and murder each other, man. They got sleep.
I've got them all. They're all there.
How many throats do you think your mom slit to get those for you?
Oh, she loved me. So
Every-
Yeah, there's probably
yeah,
unsolved murders right now. because-
yes, my mom.
I know when Elmo came out, my parents
Yeah,
got
tickle
law
me.
enforcement.
Yeah.
and, like my mom was in jail over
Yeah.
Elmo.
The-
So
the tickle
they-
me Elmo
my dad
thing?
was the undersheriff. So it's like he controlled the jail.
Yeah.
They're like, but you gotta.
Yes.
You mind if I'm letting somebody tickle me Elmo?
Right.
Oops.
But, I always think of the South Park episode with Tickle Me Elmo.
Right.
Stop touching me, Elmo. Stop touching me. I want your hug.
This is all, by the way. Fancy girls are in here.
Oh, yeah.
What? I do when they're here, bro.
So you're letting me out.
Yeah, it's
Normally
like-
Ben's in here and we're talking about just the weirdest shit, and someone walks in, they listen, and then they just
Walk away.
Yeah.
Never mind.
what? Oh, tickle me Elmo, what?
Yeah.
Grown ass men. What do you? How did you get to
Yeah.
that conversation?
Right.
Like,
Funny.
I seriously
funny
want to
trip.
tickle me Elmo conversation.
So I wasn't allowed to watch Power Rangers because obviously they were fighting demons. And if they were
I would go down to school,
they
bro. I
were
don't know.
if they were fighting for Jesus, they had to have been fighting for Satan.
Yep.
oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
It was Kiss. Yeah.
Same with
every guy there's like,
Yeah. I bet.
still calling her camera. Yeah, ain't even close. Same with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's the fact that they were fighting Ninja Turtles that delves violence. It was the fact that they meditated, and that means they were praying to something that wasn't Jesus.
Yeah.
wow. So the whole fact that they were ninjas,
Nothing to do with it.
unruly teenagers,
Nothing to do with it.
lived in the sewer,
Nothing to do with it.
unhealthy diet.
Lives with the fucking rat.
Yeah, their dad was a rat.
Rat.
He was the rat king.
They fought a guy that came from ooze named
They were all
Shredder.
Shredder.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Shredder. No, they meditated.
And that was enough.
That's
Satanic, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good job. Good job.
That was my jam.
Oh, dude, I had
Turtles in a half
my
shell.
dad got one of those. I don't know, like I don't remember, it, but those were like in the attic toys, and those were like the played with ones. Dad threw those away on that there. So,
I'll fight my dad.
yeah,
I had an X-Men card. That was my jam.
overpowered cards.
Yes, I had books and books and books and books and books that I hid under my bed that my mom found and threw away because you shouldn't collect demons.
Yeah,
It's
These cards
Gotta
must have
collect
some
them all.
power.
yeah.
I'm exaggerating because it's funnier, but like
Oh, absolutely.
that's the gist of it.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I had like old basketball cards, and I never did baseball, football. I wonder if those.
Bruh. all right, we're gonna open you up a fucking.
Basically
old
like a
people's
40-year-old virgin, but you've had sex.
Yeah, but not
But-
really.
Pretty much.
You've had sex. Like,
So what you're saying is we should open up a fucking hobby store in the upstairs.
Dude, now I'm like,
GI Joe's unwrapped.
no, I don't have the GI Joes. I don't have the
The
Star Wars.
first
or
box
G.I.
of condoms
Joes.
you ever were given.
Yeah, those are there. Those were the Power Rangers.
Yeah, right. That was a condom.
But
Kid's like, this motherfucker can father my children.
Good.
It's actually some cheap, versatile.
I got one.
I'm on my way. Trust me.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
6 months.
here's $60 out the fucking door. I'm in.
That's it. Yeah, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped on it.
You're only buying toys for one.
Yeah.
Toys for one.
Boom.
Yeah, man, that's
That's
been the plan all along.
Today's session.
What time are we at, Kyle?
It is 8:46.
Oh, what?
Perfect time.
Kyle sucks at his job, so just go ahead, man.
Time for
Mhm. I know how you work, son. I've seen you work.
That's the thing you text me phone games. Is that
So
part of
you
the show?
email.
I don't think we're blood type.
Shh.
I mean, if you need it, it's be positive.
It would
Would be.
be possible.
Oh, I'll probably be negative.
I don't even think
It all makes sense now.
I don't even think I know my blood type.
I should know.
I should know that, right?
You
You
should,
know,
Yeah, you should.
I don't.
If it's to the point where you need blood, you're probably unconscious anyway.
Like
We'll figure it
OH positive or just
out. We'll figure it out.
I got.
You know what we should do as an
Something,
activity
whatever.
together? It would drive wherever we went. It would drive them totally nuts. But we should go all give blood together and just like yeah the whole time.
Yeah.
They would kick us out, Fawn.
yeah, we kind of did that when we got IVs.
Good blood. Like it might come out a little green. No, it's good.
It's not empty.
Yeah.
Well, lift on the back of your shirt. You got a shell under there, don't you?
Yep.
I mean, have you seen my back?
It's kind of like
It's geometric.
it kind of.
Oh, son of a bitch. Somebody wave a pizza in her face. She can't resist it. We got her.
I don't know what kind of pizza is
Yeah.
it.
I am hungry.
I can eat dinner.
I can always eat. I'm fat. Food's always an option. If we leave the buffet, they'd be like, "You want to get ice cream?" Like, fuck yes! I just had 4 of them, but sure.
Yeah. Not gonna say no.
So we're closing in on 9.
Are we?
Yeah. Do we have any other crazy stories that we need to share?
One time.
I don't know if we have.
Gather
time for that.
round.
I don't know if we
The
have time
Durb
for
is
that.
speaking.
Right.
Is he gonna do?
Oh, I got some stories, but that
After
should
you
be
start
on
shit about white
the
girls.
live podcast.
Most of my stuff can still be considered trialable. Trialable.
Hey, don't tell anybody.
I wasn't.
No.
You know how you get away with stuff?
Don't tell anybody.
Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up.
shut the
Denying counter accused.
Yep.
I tell my boys that every day.
Yeah.
Like when they go to school, I'm like, you deny counter accused. They're like, Dad, you can't. My little son, man, like, Dad, you got to follow the rules. I'm like, oh yeah, denying counter accused. And I saw my daughter, and she's like, got it.
Got it. Yeah.
She's the one to
Give me the old got it.
I gotta follow the rules.
She's gonna be the one, like now that she's like pre-injured all of these times right in a row, bam, bam,
Oh,
bam.
she's
She's gonna think
she's
she's
invincible now.
invincible. She's gonna be the one that like grows up and becomes the assassin.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I tell Jen,
You'll be at like family reunions. And you'll be like, so tell us about work, and she'll be like, yeah.
So I was at this place
Yeah.
and I was doing this thing. You still got clearance? Oh, that's how my dad told stories about being in
Yeah,
the
dude.
armed
it's so
services.
ridiculous.
That's what he'd say.
Yeah, it was always we were jungle, and his stories got more and more vague as they went through.
Well, I told them, Jen, about going to the kids' school. Oh, guess who got an email from 2 teachers?
I'm sure you did.
Kids loved it. I was like, yeah, so there it was stacking bodies.
Dragging bodies to the mountain back.
Jen's like, you didn't say that.
They armor, and I knew I could hide behind them. So
It's like we're talking. I was so hungry. And shit.
For a year, the kids are always like, yeah, Dad.
not fun.
This year they want to go, and I'm like,
I never go because I'm not that guy.
So check it out in the mirror.
right. Like, okay.
Say, like,
Keep
They asked me to.
like, all right. Said like the teachers loved it because all the kids loved it. I'm like, all right, I guess that's positive.
He's like a pro public kindergarten speaker now.
It was like,
obviously they get past the questions like, you ever killed anybody? Like that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, this. I'm like, how many people? And I looked around the room and it's all a bunch of like 12-year-olds. And I was like, more than are in this room right now. And they're like,
Yeah,
and another girl goes, did you get shot? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, did you die? And I was like, no.
Yes, you can. Ooh. I'm telling you from the grave. He doesn't even know he's like hard flexing in the camera.
Oh, was I?
What?
Oh no. Pricing that down footage. How much can we get out?
We need to always blatantly put the camera in plain sight in front of the
See that
mirror.
font?
Yes.
You got it. It's looking
Wait, is that a month? Do you want
That's
resistance?
fantastic.
We're talking about it. Let's get the numbers out.
Mm,
What's the color on that bottle? Liz, what do you?
it's almost a tattoo,
Spearmint.
Brian.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was getting.
Look at this patch up, man. Why wait? Wide awake,
Yeah, terrorists to kill on Call of Duty.
Yeah, we gotta play Call of Duty
Nice.
shit.
Nice.
They're not gonna kill themselves. Right? Yeah.
Well,
Well, it's
That
that was good. You got me, Margaret. That was good. I'll say that.
well, that's kind of the gig.
Not gonna kill themselves. Bullshit.
What? Time. Give them enough time.
It's all an illusion.
They didn't learn to fly or land the planes, guys. They didn't learn to land.
Gotta get to those 1,000 virgins.
It's a terrorist joke, Kyle. Laugh.
is.
Fucking Jesus, you have no soul.
I said,
He said, I snickered. I did. I killed my pen. We've been talking too long, and I've
cool fishing.
Well, Durb's wrapped up with Brian over there. We could probably go ahead and wrap up and then head down and smoke some weed together.
Oh,
I think
You
it's
did that
been a
here?
pretty good episode. Hopefully the sound's pretty decent when we listen back to it.
Kyle will fix it in post.
Kyle, boost the volume. Go.
we said blanket waivers out for everything that I said.
Yes. We're gonna need some
Blanket waiver.
heavy editing.
Disclaimers on everything.
You know the little brain scrambly things in Men in Black? What if we had access to those?
The views and opinions expressed by others. Not exactly.
It's like that precursor before the Girls Gone Wild commercial. Just a couple times.
With that same ding ding ding.
Yep.
Remember?
First off, you were at the People's Resort when that came on. Tried to read super quick while you were getting epilepsy from the flashing screen about the warning. Warning. Okay, wait a minute. What's happening? Oh, I see what you're doing. Something's happening. Something's happening. So we need that set up before the show. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. Good job, Kyle. Oh, it's live. Wrap it
Oh,
up.
Jen's going to
Yeah, well, thanks everyone for joining us. Be sure to
Thanks,
tune in
everyone.
next week for another great episode.
Yay,
Great job.
podcast.